Hi everyone, welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Today we have another Twilight Princess any percent tournament match. This is Wolfdash. We have Glubbers versus DeanMachine in the lower bracket, round 1. On commentary today we have Morgan and Fodder Cannon, and they will take it from here.
Evening, everyone.
Hello, and a big shout out to Baseball, who has been doing a lot of our restreams for this tournament and has been doing a phenomenal job.
Absolutely. It's like we should be about ready to get started.
I believe so.
Once Dean stops practicing back in time.
Waiting for Dean to reset his game. I think he's practicing his buffered side hops.
That's what it looked like to me. I'm sure he'll stop doing that at some point. There we go.
Oh, I must be behind.
Oh man, cheap viewers. Don't go there.
No, do not.
Don't click that link.
Okay.
You're smarter than that.
Banned. You are smarter than that. Do not click on the free viewers.
Anyways, pet the mods, first of all.
Yes, pet the mods.
Anyways, looks like we're gonna get started.
All right, so we are in the losers bracket of the main bracket of this tournament. This is the first round for Glubbers, or this is the second round for Glubbers and for Dean, but the first round of the losers bracket.
Yep.
So this is a single elimination match.
Yep, whoever loses today is out, and whoever wins will go up against Anarakis in the next round of the losers bracket. Looks like we've gotten started. Obviously, I expect we'll see Dean attempt side hop back in time here. He's been doing that a lot. We saw him practicing it earlier. Risky strategy, but saves him about 4 or 5 seconds if he gets it.
It is a bold move, and it loses about a minute, but gets him a good head start.
Yeah, though on the other hand, in Dean's favor, people have failed safety bet a number of times in this tournament. It's not that safe.
Couldn't be me.
It's been everyone. Glover is taking a minute on the bridge there to decide if he really wants to do back in time.
Dean having some problem with the gate.
Yeah, that's some serious bad gate luck.
Oh, Glubbers failed safe back in time.
Oh my
that's
gosh.
Unfortunate.
This is certainly a start to the race, everyone.
It's okay. They're both, the nerves are getting to them. They're shaking it out, getting all the silly mistakes out from the beginning. I think that's 6 times that Dean has bonked out of the gate now.
It's more
7.
than that. Will Dean make it through the gate before Glubbers gets back there?
This is one of the heaviest RNG sections of the game. Just the first thing that you do, I think you have a 0.01% chance of getting through the gate. Is that correct?
Something like that, yeah. Good grief.
And he's through. Let's see if he goes for fast bit. He's going for fast bit.
That looks like the right frame. And he got it. So Dean now a few seconds ahead, coming out of back in time. Good lord. That's the silliest part about that is if Dean didn't do didn't do side hop back in time, they'd be neck and neck right now. Yeah. Not that a couple seconds in early game matters all that much, but
yeah. So now Dean is ahead by about 10 seconds. That was the silliest start to a race I've seen yet.
Absolutely.
But our runners just shaking off all the nerves, getting in their game.
See, this is why you come out to all the Wolfdash restreams, right? You might see something that you've never seen before.
Yep. Right, nobody Swiss crashed.
Yeah. I mean, I doubt Dean is playing on Swiss.
I don't know.
Well, considering he's running the English version.
Maybe he has a Japanese Switch.
I don't think you can play TV on a Japanese Switch or any other region.
Yeah.
Hopefully no ook crashing today.
No ook crashes. Prage.
Or any of the other silly things that happened in that other one.
No one's going to kill the Twilight Messengers for early Master Sword.
We really hope not.
Yeah. It only loses about 10 minutes.
I mean, or they could both do it and turn it into a TPHD race.
Dean getting a 340 with that small key after the unfortunate things that happened with the gate is actually not too terrible.
Do you like split for that small key, right? You know what a good time for picking up the small key is.
Yeah, a decent time with the small key.
I don't know that.
With doing safe bit, which is 10 seconds slower than fast bit, is like a 305 or about a 3-minute time. So
that sounds about right. Yeah. So nobody's gotten quite there today.
Yeah.
But it's funny to see them still this close after the weird start.
Yeah, still almost getting a sub 5 cage break.
Yeah, that's pretty good considering he spent about a minute at the gate. Anyways, of course, goats could shake this up, so we'll see how both runners do with that.
Yep, and now to the actual RNG part of the run. Them both getting a sub 20 goats on this would just be kismet.
It could happen. They could also both get a 50-second goats.
We wish for the good thing. I at least want to wish for the good thing.
Considering how it's been going.
Yeah.
Let's see how Dean does here. Looking good so far.
Yep. Dean and Glubbers both went for right side goats, which is a little bit riskier, but it seems like it worked out for Dean. Almost got a sub 20.
Yep, 21 goats is not bad. Especially with the last couple just taking their time to make it in at the end there. Glubbers is going to have a little more trouble here, but he should be able to handle this.
Oh, I see one facing the other side right at the gate too.
That's yeah, that one's going to go all over the place now. Nope, looks good.
Yep.
31 goats, so another 10 seconds in Dean's favor there.
Yep. Yeah, Glubbers had a really good reaction to that late goat. I would have tried to whoop to get him to go away from me faster, but it seems like that actually would have been worse.
I wouldn't have, but I also wouldn't have expected it to work.
Yeah.
Oh no, my restream's getting messed up. Or, hopefully I'm not wildly off sync now.
I'm sure it's fine.
Anyways, let's see how Bo treats these runners.
I can see the timer.
Good. Kind of the most RNG of the whole thing.
Dean's getting some bad RNG right off the bat, but able to recover.
It gets a lot worse. Looks like Glubber's got the 1 cycle on the first try.
Oh, I'm behind now.
Oh, I might be ahead. Yep, there we go. I'm now synchronized. So it looks like a good bow RNG across the board for Glubbers, so he'll actually be able to get ahead here.
Yeah, and Dean getting the business from Bo, it looks like.
Oh wait, never mind. I just saw Glub's first cycle on Bo again.
I think this might be phase 2. I think he might have tried to go for the 1 phase twice. I guess we'll see, because they look identical.
Yeah. I think I'm back in sync now.
Glubber's got the 1 phase on the 1 cycle on phase 2 as well, after a slap fest with Bo.
You can do that. So he's a tiny bit ahead now. And hopefully I won't have any more technical difficulties for the remainder of the run.
Yeah, I don't think I'm scheduled for any thunderstorms tonight.
I say that, and then the stream immediately resyncs again.
Oh no.
It's fine.
So for those newer viewers, we immediately did a back in time, which puts us on the menu. Yeah. I botched that explanation.
Good luck, fodder. Good luck with this one.
All right, let me start over. So we went to the nearest void zone, which happened to be the Orden Bridge. And if you reset the game on the same frame that you void out, you can respawn on the title menu, which gives you the hero's tunic, the sword, and the shield. Kind of, but not really. And if you're able to void in that state and save again, it gives you a fake shield and sword and hero's tunic, and also gives you a story flag, which lets you get the iron boots early, which is why we've fought Bo 5 minutes into the run.
Yeah, normally the iron boots are not supposed to be the second item you obtain in this game.
Oh, that's true. We did get the lantern. I was like, second.
We did get the lantern. This is not. No, I don't. No, basically every category gets at least the lantern first.
Yeah. I forget about the lantern, but it's also required to finish the run.
You do need the lantern.
Yes.
There's one lantern door in Arbiter's Grounds that we don't know a way to bypass. If we did, it would be big for low percent, I guess. Probably for any percent, it would still be faster to get the lantern. It saves a lot of time in Hyrule Castle. Anyways, let's see how everybody does in sewers. This is our first kind of wolf movement heavy section.
Yeah, seem pretty even so far.
Yep, but we'll see both runners going for a number of small time savers throughout the section. Some of them more consistent than others. Nice C-up dash cancel from Dean there.
And I think Glubber's got the hit off of the squeeble there. Is that what happened? Because I saw him do a double dash in the water as well.
I'm not sure. Well, it doesn't look like he got hit.
I'm not sure how that one works. Or maybe he did a really fast C-up.
Beats me. It's like both runners were able to get Midna text displacement. Talking to Midna from outside that cutscene trigger to make some text go faster. And should both be good for skipping another text box with a somewhat precise jump there. Yep, looks like it. Yep. But Dean was able to get the 1 frame input to jump early, and Glubbers missed it. So Dean gaining probably about a second there. There'll be another opportunity for one of those 1 frame inputs right here.
Synced sewers, Pog.
And this time Glubber's got it. So they're back in sync.
Yeah, I believe it was Beast who did the frame data on those jumps, and specifically that one at the top of the tower is 18 frames, where all the other ones are 8 frames.
I thought it was Badamja.
Or was it Badamja? Excuse me.
But yeah, 18 frames sounds about right.
A member of the community whose username starts with a B.
Yeah. One of them.
One of those.
Talk amongst yourselves and determine.
I think I might have said it was you, Beast, because you've been doing all this stuff with tassing recently. But yeah, if it was Badamja, maybe it was a Nimzo. Now I need to check. It's bothering me.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Badamja. I suppose it's possible Nimzo has also done it, but Badamja was who did them recently. Anyways, what's more important is now we have everybody coming up on Sword and Shield skip. Because we did back in time, we were able to obtain the Iron Boots early. Orden Village is not in the right state for us to get the Orden Sword and Wooden Shield that Midna requires us to get before leaving. We do have a Sword and Shield, kind of, but they're not in the inventory screen, and in any case, Midna, imposes a source requirement on us for those items. So instead, we're going to have to do a fairly precise enemy long jump attack off of Hugo the Bulblin here. And this whole trick is why most of those little time gains or time losses in the early game aren't so important. The trick's difficult, and it relies on timing your inputs against Hugo attacking you, so it's dependent on RNG for how long the trick takes to begin with. Hopefully we won't see anybody have Hugo heartbreak today.
Yeah. Hugo being a little swing happy for Dean. Looks like Glubbers got him in position pretty early.
And Dean, unfortunately, not getting a long enough jump attack there.
Glubbers taking his time.
Try the trick again, which is going to lose about 90 seconds, and Glover's unfortunately doing the same thing.
I don't know enough about the trick to say what they did wrong, so I'm just going to say they're synced
blue
again.
rupee 5.
Very nice.
That could make a big difference later. But it probably won't. Yeah, I'm not sure. Both of them landed short of the trigger. I didn't quite see, exactly why.
Yeah. It seemed like they both went for slides and were maybe a couple frames late on the second jump, so didn't have enough height to get into the load zone. Or to the cutscene trigger.
Serious rupee RNG for Dean here.
He's rich.
Even with the reattempt, 16 rupees going into Farron Woods is kind of a lot. Good second try from Dean there.
Oh, Hugo was too far back into the load zone.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I believe that.
Glover's having some more trouble.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to widen the gap here. Yeah, that makes sense, Dean.
Okay, I see.
I thought it looked like you might have gone too early, but I wasn't entirely sure why.
Yeah. The pulling Hugo part of this trick is particularly annoying because he has the attention span of a grape and sometimes just decides not to follow you.
Oh, absolutely. It's very silly.
But Glubber's using this time to try to catch up to Dean in rupees. He's at 14 without any blues.
If he gets a blue here, he'll be ahead of Dean. Neither runner is on the French version of the game, so they are going to care about the rupee counts.
France mentioned.
Yep, that's one for your bingo cards, I suppose. I don't know what that side hop was.
Yeah, in a bit of an awkward spot there. At least it wasn't a jump attack.
The wolf movement controls can really make this one a pain in the butt sometimes. And Hugo's not being nice to him either.
Oh, yeah. Hugo is.
Come on, that could work. Oh. Yeah, that would have been... That's a tricky spot for it. Needs a very early... Well, depending on whether you slide or not. Anyways.
So Dean now making his way through Farron, not getting the Elden Vessel. He is going to be finding a different way. Or not the Elden Vessel, the Farron Vessel, excuse me.
He's not getting the Elden Vessel either.
He will not...
Although we will need that later.
Yeah. He is not getting the Elden Vessel right now. He's going to be making his way over to the second set of Twilight Messengers in this part of Farron.
Yep. Fighting the first set granted him the mid-to charge ability and the South Farron Warp Portal, both of which we'll be using extensively over the course of the run. And in fact, this will be his first use of the mid-to charge. He's going to try to do a super jump off of this messenger here. Very nice. And he's now out of bounds in North Farron Woods, and he can jump all the way down to Sacred Grove to get the Master Sword in a few minutes.
Yep. Fortunately for us, the Sacred Grove is just kind of always there.
There we go.
Yep. And Glubber's finally in, and
on a very clean rep too.
Yes.
That was absolutely textbook.
Yeah. And he's into Farron with more rupees than Dean, so he is now officially winning.
It's true.
Because everyone knows 19 is a better number than 16.
As a fun bit of trivia, there are actually a couple different ways to beat this Shadow Beast fight without using and obtaining the mid-to charge. Which, is slightly faster than doing the fight normally, but it also renders the game uncompletable. So, don't try that in your casual playthrough.
Though I'm sure somebody has tried to route any percent no midna.
Well, low percent would like to be able to do that, but there are many reasons why we can't.
Very true.
A nice double hit at the end of that fight from Glubbers there. He only tagged one of the messengers with the mid-to charge there, but they were kind of bunched up in a way that he was actually able to hit both of them.
Yeah. Looks very cool.
And it appears that Glubbers is actually going to be getting the Farron Vessel.
He is getting the Farron Vessel and will be doing the best route in the any percent category.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because it means that after both runners get the Gale Boomerang in a few minutes, their routes are going to diverge for quite a while.
We're going to see a lot of interesting movement from Glubbers and Farron Twilight as well that you don't usually get to see.
Yep. Dean, meanwhile, getting the last hit on Skull Kid in such a way that he falls down from that ledge during the cutscene. And Glubber's turning off Wolf Sense as he kills these bugs to avoid another set of text boxes from Korra there, because we don't need to hear from him. Good rupee RNG continues for Dean. You'll notice here that Glubbers isn't always immediately collecting the Tears of Light that are dropped by those bugs, because he's going to be making another pass through this area of Farron Woods later after collecting the Master Sword, and slightly faster to pick the Tears up at that point.
As long as the bug explodes before you go into the next load zone, the Tears will be there indefinitely.
Yep, there are a couple different silly ways you can leave a room too early in the Twilights. Hopefully we won't see anybody do that. Good wall bugs. Yep. Spoke too soon.
Dean doing the Master Sword puzzle. Let's see if he remembers it. Oh, that was a risky minute jump by Glubbers, but he knew his spacing.
Yeah, that's fine. I would have gone for that.
Yeah.
It's I believe that one's also just generally a little more lenient than it looks.
Yeah. Well, something that I wouldn't have done is he saw which way the log was swinging and opted to start the jump on the other side, so it'd give him enough time to bridge the gap without getting hit by the log.
And Glover's getting a bit of bad luck on early Master Sword here. It kind of depends
Oh my goodness.
on which attack animation you get for the messenger. Scratch that, getting a lot of bad luck.
Yeah. So there are two attacks that this messenger can do, and you want to opt for the one that's slower, so you have more time to get into position.
Yep, that was a good attack, but the messenger, who we call Jabal, was a little far off the wall there, so didn't quite get enough distance on the super jump. Hopefully he gets it this time. Ooh.
Looks like a sub 23 Master Sword from Dean.
Yep, it was about a 2350.
Or sub 24, sorry.
Which is pretty good, all things considered.
Glover's
now out of bounds. It's a little closer than it looks since Dean didn't have to collect the first couple of tiers in Fair and Twilight, of course. But Glover's definitely at a disadvantage here.
Yeah, so Dean presumably is going to be going for Empty Lake Hylia, which is a route that kind of does the game in story order, skipping Forest Temple and Goron Mines. However, it does get Eldin and Lanayru Twilight, and then enters Lake Hylia in a very interesting way. And
yep, his splits are set up for ELA Trout, so I assume that's what's going to happen.
It's a little blurry, but I can see it. I just got new glasses.
Yeah, I guess it is kind of in story order. It's more in story order than the route Glubbers is doing.
In relation to the route that Glubbers is doing, which is going into the Lakebed Temple using a trick called Pillar Clip while Lake Hylia is in low water, and getting the claw shot, and then using the claw shot to go to Snow Peak before beating Morpheal and Lakebed Temple. So they're going to be a bit asynced in this run until after until Arbiter's Grounds is the point that they will definitely meet back up.
Yeah, technically they meet up a bit earlier than that, but that's the segment where they meet back up anyways.
Right. Getting the note from Auru.
Yep.
Auru?
Raffler's Noties. Fodder, there are some accusations in chat that you may want to respond to.
Oh, I have responded in kind. He's got to get some new jokes, is all I have to say.
I mean, I assume it's going to take another 3 years before you can actually beat Naxxramas, but, you know.
Wait. 3 years? What is that math?
It's the kind of math where I'm trying to imply that you're bad at World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay. I was trying to line up, like, did they release like a timeline for Season of Discovery or something like that?
I have no idea. I have not been
mind.
paying attention to the game for like 6 months now.
Anyways, Twilight Princess.
Yes, that's World of Warcraft, the game everybody is talking about.
Yes.
And we're all watching right here. Anyways, looks like a good Forest Temple back in time for Dean here. Using the save prompt to buffer back in time this time.
Yeah, Happy, I think you're in the wrong chat, buddy.
Yeah, it looks good. As usual, he'll now be doing back in time equip with a save he made earlier in Bo's house to load into the first King Bulblin fight. One of the things that the route otherwise skips, but we actually just care about using the intro cutscene to set the boss flag to a high value, which will allow us to go directly to the Gale Boomerang in Forest Temple. Glubbers will be fighting King Bulblin 1 at a later point in the run, though not really in the way you're meant to.
Who knows? He might get Gorge Void and then decide that whatever he did for Bite was now pointless because the Gorge Void's faster.
Oh, except he's already done Fair and Twilight.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe he just wanted to do it for fun.
Yeah,
Fair and Twilight is fun.
If you're gonna do a Twilight for fun, that's a good choice.
Yeah. It is the best Twilight, objectively.
It's not possible to do Linear Twilight for fun. Anyways, 2933 Master Sword for Glub, about. Probably a few minutes behind where we'd like to be, but, you know, definitely everybody's still in this one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of game left.
Yeah, and that's also, I guess, a time to talk about the mentality you need in a race like this, because, you know, the Twilight Princess is a game that's very front-loaded with tricks, and for Glubbers to continue on after having so much trouble in the early game is very commendable.
Yeah, there's lots of... Obviously, we just saw that whole early game gauntlet. There are a number of smaller tricks spread out throughout the run, but generally, at least at the level these runners play at, we can expect things to really tighten up after Arbiter's Grounds. We'll expect both runners to take about an hour from there to the end of the game, though there's still room for things to happen.
Anything can happen.
Yep. But at this point, being about a sixth of the way through the run, you know, certainly nothing is set in stone. Anyways, good Ook RNG for Dean there. I think that was a 3 or 4 hop.
3, I believe.
And not getting the G's mystery crash.
Yeah. Yeah, G's found that if you jump attack Ook at a specific spot in the room, the game just decides to crash. And I don't think we've been able to replicate it, but it's also been a week since that's been found. So
I'm not really sure like what causes that. I mean, people were saying it's just a like random TP crash, but it happened at exactly the same time that the Ook crash would happen if it was going to.
Yeah.
Which is a bit odd.
Maybe the texture of the boomerang wasn't Ook's hand and we couldn't see it. I don't know.
That's not how this works.
I don't know.
Also, shout out to, I believe it was Badamja, who was playing around on emulator and did the Ook crash, but with MMU enabled, so it didn't actually crash. And it turns out that what happens is the cutscene plays normally, but Ook just like jumps out of the room with the boomerang.
Yeah. He just takes the boomerang and pieces out. He takes his ball and goes home.
In the one instance of something in Twilight Princess like working in a way that makes sense, when that happens, you don't get the boomerang.
Yeah.
He's just left with it. It's not there anymore.
Although I am kind of impressed with the developers having items and cutscenes be the same actors as the items you get later. Kind of.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's exactly what causes it, but it's very silly. Anyways, Dean will now be making his way out of Fair and Twilight and over to Kakariko Gorge. He can, of course, do this with the Gale Boomerang. He'll be going for a precise position setup here and then using the boomerang to long jump attack over the trigger that normally stops him from leaving the area. That looks good.
Perfect.
I assume most of you are familiar with the boomerang long jump attack, but despite the appearance, it is not an intended game mechanic. It's kind of a abuse of how the game locks the camera to the boomerang while it's flying around. But very useful in Twilight Princess speedruns. You'll see another one right here. You'll be attempting to do another LJ over the trigger for talking to the mailman at this point. Getting mail is not required for any percent, so we'd rather not see him. Looks good.
Oh. This isn't mail percent?
It is not. It is not 100% plus. Anyways, meanwhile, Glubber's making his way on into Forest Temple. He has not actually completed the Twilight yet. The last 2 tiers of light are waiting outside for him after he gets the boomerang.
That looks like a good frame.
Yeah, that was fine.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Dean has entered Elden Twilight as Wolf, and then the cutscene where he turns into a wolf again still plays. Notably, the rule set for low transforms does not consider that to be a transform. Although we could get around it if it was. Anyways, we'll now see if Dean gets Gorge Void. This is another 1-frame input. You can do a jump attack in between 2 cutscenes here to avoid learning map warping right now. It's slightly
and he gets
earlier than he'd like to. Yep, looks good. So he saved about a minute over Glubbers with routing as a result. Assuming he doesn't have any trouble with Rupee Roll.
Yeah. So if you fail that Gorge Void, you'll be put into the cutscene with Midna that tells you need to get the bridge, and then she'll put you back into Farron, which makes you also have to do Forest Escape 1 extra time.
Yeah, we will be doing that eventually. We do need map warping. We do need to go back to Farron Woods, but it'll be slightly more convenient to defer that for a few minutes. Because by avoiding that, what Dean can do is do this cool trick to get on the fence here and some out of bounds movement, and eventually go to Kakariko Village and get that warp portal. And avoid having to do, well, most of this business again later.
Yep. Successful Gorge skip by Dean, so now he can go to
clean.
Eldon and get the warp portal. Shout out to Simikins for forgetting you had to get map warping. And just doing Elden Twilight after getting Gorge Void.
He did figure it out at some point, which is good. Which is good because if he had completed Elden Twilight, he would have had to do Temple of Time.
Yeah.
Which
after a moment of contemplation. Oh, that's a fun fact. I didn't know you had to go to Temple of Time.
Well, technically you don't have to do that. You don't have to go to Temple of Time. You can also do the not at all RTA viable UMD that TAS does. But, like, you can't do that.
I don't know why the first bonk didn't work.
Too early.
Oh, too early. Okay.
Anyways, you can also see Dean taking care to avoid the trigger to put him in the actual King Bulblin 1 fight there. Now he's come back, and the trigger for continuing that map warping cutscene isn't actually long enough that we can hit it from the other side of the gorge, which is convenient because we otherwise have no way to go back across other than warping to South Farron and running up, which is basically what we avoided with Gorge Void in the first place. He'll now be making his way over to Lanayru province to start the Linear Twilight sequence.
Joke's on you, Doopsy. My parents took away my GameCube in 2009 because I was playing it too much.
Anyways, Glubbers now has the Gale Boomerang, so he'll be able to finish up Elden Twilight or Fair and Twilight, and then that's when the route is going to really start looking different. I believe you'll still be going to the Gorge next.
You may be surprised.
Oh, does that route do Lanari first?
Yes, I believe Glubbers is doing the damage route to do Linné route first.
Oh, it's a damage routing thing.
Yeah. So Dean is now on his way to Linné to get up to the Zora domain portal for a bit of easier routing later, and then he's going to be going back to finish Elden Twilight. Or to get the Elden Vessel and do Elden Twilight, yeah.
He is yet to start.
Well, I think when you go into the portal or the barrier, Midna says, "Would you like to enter Elden Twilight?"
I suppose it depends on our exact definition of start.
Yeah.
Anyways, a little trouble with the Linear Gate for Dean there, but makes it through.
Yep. Gates don't exist, by the way.
No. Well, one of them does.
Unfortunately.
So some runners prefer to call that the Poe door instead to recognize its evident non-gate status. And yes, it does appear that Glubbers is going to Linear Province first.
Yeah. All that means that all doors is impossible because you can't physically open the Poe gate because it's a Poe door, right? Link can't open it.
I don't know what the rules for all doors are. I don't think anybody does.
It's not real.
It's not a category.
It was a joke I made earlier in the week, and then Spicy Juice and Arrakis started considering it.
Of course. Who else? No love from the gate for Glubbers either.
See, is Dean gonna go for Karg drowning? Doesn't look like it. Well, maybe. Oh, he is. Well, screw me.
Yeah, he kind of takes a weird path on it. This is a risky strategy. It's faster than doing one cycle on the fight normally, but it does run the risk of crashing the game if you were to be grabbed by the Karg Rock while underwater. Like he has avoided that fate.
So now while Dean is going up to Zora's domain, Glubbers is going to be doing Pillar Clip.
Yep, this is where the route starts looking very different. You can see Glubbers is human here, having transformed before jumping in the lake. And he's now going to go to Lakebed Temple. Now, normally you would do that with aid of water bombs and the Zora armor. Glubbers has neither. But what he's going to try to do is clip out of bounds, even, using some weird collision on this pillar here.
It's good.
Yeah, that should work. I think the air meter looks fine.
Oh, he's got plenty of air.
Yeah. And then he can swim around the boulder blocking the entrance to Lakebed Temple.
Oh my goodness, giving me a heart attack.
That was sketchy.
He did that on purpose.
Speaking of out of bounds, we can see Dean has clipped out of bounds during this Karg Rock flight, allowing him to dodge the... Oh, no.
Oh.
Allowing him to dodge the large bend in the flight path, but not allowing him to dodge the void plane that he didn't fly high enough to get over.
Yeah, so you can clip out of bounds pretty early in this Karg flight, but as Morgan said...
Yep, we'll probably see him doing it again.
If you're too low, you can void. Which we saw happen.
Also, if you're too bad at doing the clip, you can bonk and fall down and die, which happens.
Oh, commentator's curse!
Oh no!
Why would you say that?
I'm so sorry, Dean. I accept responsibility.
Oh my god! I saw that in real time, and if you're bad at the clip, you will bonk.
Oh man, Dean, I'm so sorry. If Dean loses this race now, it's my fault.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's unfortunate too, because if you bonk in that spot, you land on the ground and it'll do 2 hearts of damage and it'll give you a game over.
Anyways, meanwhile, Glubbers has used some more boomerang long jump attacks to get around the lack of bombs.
Yeah.
And
doing a swag break slide
down the lake bed stairs.
Yeah. She's going to be turning the staircase to get Uku, which is going to let him return to the lake bed later, because the only reason he is here now is for the claw shot.
I really have Christine, haven't I? He's also getting Uku, so he can go back.
Yes.
Also, Beast, I was originally trying to say that I was bad because when Dean fails the clip and bonks and falls all the way down and dies, it's weird, but when I do it, it's normal. Nice iron boots from Glubbers there during the jump to fall a little faster. And looks like Dean has decided to not continue attempting the clip.
He's at 1 heart, so I wasn't looking. Did he fail it for a 3rd time?
He did.
Oh no.
That's very unfortunate.
I have definitely not reset a run to Kargoop.
Yeah, this hasn't happened to either of us before. We're better than that.
Not at all. Another side effect of doing the forest bit is that Glubbers now has early boss flags, which will let him get into the Deku Toad fight backwards.
Yep. Yeah, Lakebed Temple is pretty broken in GameCube 90%. Yeah. We don't see a lot of Lakebed Temple.
Yeah. Glubbers missed the bomb throw. Clueless.
Nevertheless, it will be the first dungeon both runners beat completely. Yeah, as Fodder said, Glubber's technically losing a bit of time because he doesn't have bombs at this point, although the bomb strat is not exactly guaranteed.
Yeah, it is a very tight window for those inputs.
Yeah, I saw Nimzo was messing around with that again. He's got some other setup where you hold up from the start of the fight or something. I'm not sure. I don't do it.
Yeah. So now that Glubbers has the claw shot, he's going to save warp and use Uku to get out of the Lakebed Temple, and is going to be following Dean up to Zora's domain to get the portal.
Yep. He will, of course, come back to finish Lakebed Temple. It's required to beat the game, but he'll be doing a lot of other stuff first.
Yeah, only 1 claw shot for now. He's going to be getting another later. Spoilers.
Yeah, if you stick around, you might see something interesting there.
If you're a fan of claw shots,
watch this one then, folks. Yeah, true. Eventually they'll have the quadruple claw shot.
Yeah, Dean, you send that message. As I think about it for myself, I think I say that every run, and then I fail Kargoop.
Maybe you should stop saying that.
Yeah. I even have the thought as I go onto the Karg, I go, wouldn't it be funny if I failed Kargoop here? And then I do, and then I cry.
Anyways, Dean finally warping back to Kakariko and starting the Elden Twilight sequence.
Slaw shots. Is that slots of shots of coleslaw?
I don't think I'd prefer that. Anyways, Glubbers is taking intentional damage here. And getting a... I'm not sure if he was going to go for card drowning and then got a weird pattern, or if he was... This is how he always does it.
No, so for bite, you want to take a quarter heart of damage at some point. So I think he transformed into human.
No, not that. I'm talking about the weird card fight. I know what he's doing on the damage route.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to manipulate the Karg to give him a better pattern so he could jump on him earlier.
Yeah, not sure. That's what it looked like to me, Teabag. Dean unfortunately having trouble with the Kakariko basement bugs.
I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, I guess. Saying it was intentional.
And good card flip from Glubbers here. Hopefully he avoids that void trigger. Thank you, Yell.
He avoids it. Ha ha ha.
Then we'll see Dean do a cool little manipulation here to get the Malamar bug to come down to him rather than having to go up to it. And let's see how it deals with the hotel. A lot of very tight movement in here if you want to do it fast. And nice one-frame jump attack out of the cutscene there from Glubbers to skip some mid-no text.
Glubbers checking his items quickly.
Gotta know what items you have. I mean, probably. It's a pretty good hotel from Dean there.
Yeah. Some might call it a 4-star hotel.
Yeah, it looks pretty run down, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. But the staff is great. They'll only hit you with clubs if you get close to them.
And the rupee luck is continuing for Dean here. Wow.
Yeah. Also notably, Dean doing rupee roll and not doing a save warp from then until Elden Twilight, he doesn't have to worry about getting extra rupee text. So he doesn't have to do some of the manipulations that we do to skip that rupee text.
Yeah, though he shouldn't have blue text, so we'll still see him doing that on the Watchtower rupee.
That's true.
Anyways, Glubbers is now going back to South Farron, and I assume now he's going to be getting map warping?
Yes. Yeah, so now he's going to make his way up and get hit by a couple of the Babos on the way out of Farron towards Lanayru.
Where did he take another quarter heart?
He took a quarter heart by the Karg Rider.
No, but...
Or not the Karg Rider, the Archer during Karg Flight.
Oh. I don't know if he did that on purpose.
I think he did it by muscle memory, because he forgot that he had taken a quarter heart. Yeah. Because now he's at a kind of an awkward heart count. You want to be at a quarter heart so you can get smacked by the Baba after you get final blow.
So he's going to have to do a LJ instead, which is a tiny bit slower.
But luckily, he does have the boomerang equipped from doing this Farron escape, so he doesn't need to do an extra equip.
Anyways, let's see if the Watchtower bug is nice to Dean here. Looks like it is. You can't kill that bug while it's kind of in the corner, and it is the decider of whether it wants to come out of the corner or not. So
that one was close. Did he get the bug, or did he get the tier? He did.
Yeah, looks like it. And in fact, he's avoided the Watchtower rupee entirely, which seems reasonable considering his rupee count. Let's see, Glub's mailman skip. Didn't quite like that position. There we go.
The adjustment's only slow if it doesn't work.
Yeah, well, what you don't want to do is, go for the LJ, decide you don't like it, and then go forward and walk into the trigger.
Yeah. If you're a little bit too late on that jump, you can get in an angle where you can clang off the wall after you land, and it'll push you back into the mailman trigger.
There are so many, really silly-looking ways you can mess that one up.
Yeah.
There are also some enemies hanging around that can just hit you into it.
Yep. They'll turn out a bomb right on top of you.
Anyways, Dean doing some flashy movement here to get down to these shadow beasts as quickly as possible. He is on a cycle for this area, so it matters. This is looking pretty good so far. He should be able to make this with good movement to the bug.
Glubber's getting some unfortunate movement from the messengers, but is able to get them all. Let's see if his route's faster.
And Dean, unfortunately, forgetting that he needs to get the bug before doing that mid jump up there. And Glubbers, meanwhile, inputting a B attack on the Gorge Void frame. So he did get the correct timing, although actually doing Gorge Void is slow on this route, so he hasn't.
Yeah, it would also give him a game over, which actually wouldn't give him the desired effect.
Cool hop, Dean.
Yeah, sick hop. Another effect of Glubber's route is, since he was able to get Fair and Twilight, the Golden Wolf is also here for him to get Ending Blow a lot earlier than the Rupee Roll route does, which is required to defeat Ganon.
Yep, that's the only place that's required, in fact. Shout out to Simikins.
Shout out to Simikins. For the same reason that Morgan said, but just in case the audience doesn't know. Why?
Are you not going to explain it either?
I don't know.
He is in the group of runners who have entirely forgotten to get them slow and only discovered at the end of the run when you can't finish the game.
So now Dean is taking the large lava rock. I keep calling it a meteor,
which has
but
been
it's
here for a while,
not.
but it's pretty hot.
It's going to go linear Twilight.
Let's see if he gets a side hop.
No side hop.
In fact, not gaming. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So now you're asking for Glubber's. Why is he damaging down? You'll see here. So he's going to do a tactical death warp here.
The rare Twilight Princess death warp.
Yes.
This will put him back in South Farron because for some reason dying in North Farron puts you in South Farron.
Yeah, I think it's the entire area of Farron puts you in that one specific spot if you die.
Yeah, but dying in South Farron putting you in South Farron would be normal.
Yep. Oh, Glubber's doing a jump attack off of the Orden Bridge to do another instance of Back in Time, which has the same frame data as Forest Bit. It's any void over.
Yep, looks good. So now Glubber's is doing Back in Time equipped. He's going to wrong warp into the King Bulblin fight like we did earlier to get the Forest Temple Monkeys, although Glubber's is actually going to be fighting King Bulblin this time.
Yep. And if you fight King Bulblin, you'll end up in Orden. Not Orden. Fuck.
No,
there are too many.
You end up in Kakariko.
Eldin. They're both 2 syllables and have the same syllable for the last one.
RNG for Glubber's there. And unfortunately, kind of getting harassed by the Bulblin riders there. Yeah. I believe I speak for all bite runners when I say that fight's dumb.
Yeah. Seems like some pretty decent RNG for that first phase.
Yeah. Very good.
Oh, what is the French name for Eldin?
Oh, right. Isn't Eldin Orden in French or something like that?
It's Randy Orton.
Silly. Yeah, there we go.
Ordin.
As you also saw him do a kind of one cycle strat for the second phase there.
Yeah.
Not quite as silly looking as doing the fight with the bow, which you can see in 100% speedrun.
Yeah. Request for Miyamoto. Can you make your location names more interesting so I remember them better in your next game? Shout out to Breath of the Wild runners who have to remember the names of all of the shrines.
Do you? I would imagine you just like put numbers on them.
They don't. I'm in the Breath of the Wild Discord. They refer to them by name.
That's okay. Sure, you can do that. Anyways, looks like Dean going for a waterfall side hop here. And he gets it. That's a 3-frame side hop to avoid having to jump all the way up Zora's domain to get to this bug or do a couple other things.
Dean going to the left of the pillars just for swag, I guess.
Some people do that.
Yeah.
You can kind of go either way.
Yeah. It seems like that bug aggroed him a little early, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, true. I guess it makes it, to routing changes.
Yeah. If you number all the shrines and then you have to do a reroute in Hundo, do you renumber the shrines?
Who knows? Though I say that, I say like, oh no, that's awful rupee RNG for Dean there, getting none from that grass patch. You can get like 6 green rupees to pop up there. I say that remembering all the shrine names for Breath of the Wild sounds hard, but I probably could list off every Poe soul in Twilight Princess, so,
The location, but not the name.
Yeah, but we named them after the location.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
We have not individually named all 60 Poes in Twilight Princess.
I'm surprised, honestly. This community really likes naming things.
Anyways, Glover's now doing Elden Twilight after having completed the King Golden fight. Even the randomizer, it's, North Hyrule Field Bridge Poe and stuff like that.
North Hyrule Field Bridge Poe.
Yeah.
That's
North Bridge Poe Field Hyrule.
North Poe Bridge Field Hyrule.
Yeah. Bless you.
Thank you.
Dean now running to Castletown.
Yeah, just call him Northbro. Glover's missing the bonk to manipulate that bug and get him down from the wall. Oh, scammed.
Glover's not realizing that he'd missed that, I think. I don't know if he's trying to get it off the wall or...
I don't know what he hit, because it made it sound like he hit the bug off of the wall, and then he didn't hit anything.
I imagine he hit the Boldlin through the wall.
I want to... It's probably too late. I wanted to clip that.
Anyways, Dean's still running to Castletown. We will see runners running to Castletown 3 more times over the course of the run, so get used to it.
Yeah.
Do we know who's ahead? It's hard to tell because the runners are using different routes, but I believe Dean is probably a minute or 2 ahead at this point.
Yeah, I'd say so. Maybe a little more.
But I'm not totally certain.
Yeah. So since our runners are running 2 different routes that vary pretty significantly after the first 30 minutes of the game, it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah.
Oh, Dean's running Empty Lake Hylia.
Yeah.
That is the current world record route.
Yeah. It's a relatively new route, and if you're coming from the previous Wolfdash, you would not have seen it. The normal one, he says.
I've seen Octopus Garden around a couple times. Glover's going for Wolf Bombhouse skip here. You can do this with an LJ as well, but it's 4 seconds slower, something like that. Very good.
Wolf Bombhouse skip saves the time of 2 transforms. Oh, Glubbers being safe to not enter the bomb house before the bug exploded. Very good.
Yep. Yep, that jump lets us skip a 45-second sequence of chasing the bugs out of the house and having it explode. And it's much more fun because you get to see the house just kind of disappear.
Ah. Nope. Not happening today.
Glubbers is getting really having some trouble with the watchtower bug there. That
definitely was a watchtower bug, if I've ever seen.
Yeah, one of the watchtower bugs of all time. And Dean taking a slightly faster line on the cargo flight bugs here by skipping the first one.
Yeah, getting another chance at Cargoob, but deciding to not go for Cargoob.
I don't think you should do Cargoob here.
It would look cool.
I think that would make your run slower. And since he's collected all 4 tiers, he actually is going to end the flight early on purpose. We want to go to where failing the flight puts us. And now Dean gets to fight the boss bug.
Yep. And speaking of names that the community gives to enemies, this boss bug is named Derek.
It is. Big buggies indeed. We'll see him attempting to do some precise movement and attacking to get faster cycles on the bug for cycles 2 and 3 here. The first one we can attack it immediately. Looks like he's doing the... is he doing the camera minute? I'm not sure what he's doing.
I believe so. Maybe he unplugged this controller.
It's always possible, but yeah, there we go. That should be good. And he's just got to do that one more time and he'll be finally done with Linear Twilight. Assuming you can find the bug. Also looks good. If you get a bad position on the bug there, it can kind of clip down into the wooden plank you're standing on, and that actually makes it not work if you attack it. I mess this up regularly.
Oh yeah, it's a bit finicky.
I've delayed mentioning that until after Dean has beat the boss, but I'm learning from my mistakes.
Yeah, smart.
Anyways, Dean's almost ready to go Lake Bed Temple, finally. Glubber's getting the funny transform thing you can do here.
Yeah. Getting bullied by the meteors. I know they're not meteors, but I don't know what else to call them.
Whatever they are. Everybody else calls them meteors. You're fine to do it.
Debris?
Anyways, the first thing Dean is going to have to do here is take some intentional damage by jumping down Zora's Domain. I expect we'll also see him collect some rupees along the way. Yep, he'll be getting 20 rupees here and taking 2 hearts of damage. 84 rupees at this point in the run is very good. That means he only needs 20 more from Arbiter's rounds. Well, 16 more, but you basically get them in units of 20.
I believe in Simi's run against, or for Simi and Beast, he was at something like, he was at a pretty high number coming out of Snow Peak, so he only got 1 of the orange rupees.
Oh, that's next level.
Yeah.
And it's Dean now howling at this Howling Stone to spawn a Golden Wolf in outside Castletown. he hasn't gotten the ending blow yet. He'll need to get it from that source since he hasn't completed Fair and Twilight.
And that's another way
Glover's,
that
go ahead. Glover's on his way, starting Lanira Twilight proper now. This will be pretty much exactly the same.
Another small way that the route that Glubbers is on gains a little bit of time back on the one that Dean is on is since he did the Fair and Twilight and the Bite route, he could just go to the Golden Wolf that's in Farron and doesn't have to howl to spawn the Golden Wolf outside of Midnight's Desperate Hour.
Yep, that howling sequence takes quite a while. Anyways, Dean's now done with that though, so the last thing he needs to do before going to Lake Bed is get a bomb bag, and we'll do that by stealing it from Isa. Sorry, Isa. Now, normally you're not supposed to be able to defeat a group of Shadow Beasts as Wolf without Midna on your back. But we have a way to do it anyways. Precise position set up here to start the messenger fight as Wolf. You're not normally supposed to be able to do that. And then we'll see him executing a precise sequence of attacks on the last two messengers to be able to defeat them. This looks good.
Yeah, very clean.
Perfect. So now what this does is it's going to really break Isa's dialogue. Normally after you beat those messengers, she brings you inside the hut and lends you a bomb bag. But since Tina's Wolf here, she instead tells him to go away, but he goes in the hut anyways.
Glover's muscle memory messing up a little bit, going to the opposite side of the Zora's domain to go towards Isa instead of going into the bug.
Anyways, once Dean has the lent bomb bag from Isa, he can warp away since he's Wolf and keep it. Normally you can't leave Isa's hut with the bomb bag. She takes it back. And now he'll do that same thing a second time, probably this time warping to Lake Hylia. And unfortunately we just saw Glover's fail waterfall side hop. He's save warping instead to get back to the top of Zora's domain.
Can you dupe Isa's bomb bag infinitely?
Yes.
I feel like that has to break the game at some point.
Not really. It just kind of does the same thing again. I was looking at that for low XY presses because you can use it to store equips.
Ah.
Nice plum cutscene skip from Dean there. Saves a few seconds of watching the annoying bird dude come down.
He has a name.
I said that. Anyways, Dean is now gonna try to bonk and fall out of bounds in Plum's minigame. Looks good. And yes, because of the exact state, right. Because of the exact state that the game is in at this point, this will let Dean transfer the in-game layer number from Zora's domain in the minigame state, which I believe is 4, to Lake Hylia, which is not meant to be loaded in layer 4. And you'll see why in just a minute. Because now there's no water. Now that unfortunately doesn't mean he can just walk right on into Lakebed Temple. The entrance is quite a ways off the Lakebed floor, and we'll see him. This is kind of the older way of doing this trick, I believe. The first thing we'll see him do is use a bomb and the boomerang to destroy the rock blocking the entrance. And then he's gonna go try to do another bomb boost to get into Lakebed. This method of doing it is fairly precise.
And he gets it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I know that gave him trouble in his last race, so it must feel good to nail it on the first try this time.
Yeah, that setup is quite a bit faster, but it's also kind of frustrating. So
it's not quite a bit faster. Nemzo's setup is faster.
Really? With all the ankle buffering you have to do?
Yeah, the thing with you don't have to blow up the rock first, though.
Ah, right. I stand corrected.
However, Dean knows how to do that version of the trick and not the setup one. Yeah, that sounds about right, Beast.
Makes sense.
It's basically down to runner preference, and most runners prefer the other way of doing it.
Yeah. It seems like one of those tricks where the angle buffer is faster if you're good at the angle buffer, but
yeah, you also have to not screw up the angle buffer,
Yeah.
which it is technically frame perfect.
Yeah. We'll see another trick in City in the Sky for the aerial foes fight skip. It is faster to get the pixel, but it is more consistent to do the angle buffer. It just depends how good you are.
I imagine we'll see the angle buffer.
Yeah.
Anyways, Dean is going to take a slightly different route through Lakebed because he doesn't have to pick up Uku. So he gets to do this cool double LJ here. From here on out, it'll be exactly what Glubbers did, though. This is one wrinkle that Dean is dropping all of his bombs as he makes his way through Lakebed. That's on purpose. He needs to get water bombs later, and you can only have one type of bomb at a time, so we need to get rid of all of these.
Yeah. Let's see
Now,
if
since
bomb
he does
gets
have
the...
bombs, yep, we'll see him attempt to get a bomb into Deku Toad's mouth before, kind of right at the start of the fight. This requires a very precise sequence of inputs. And that looks good.
Very nice.
Very nice. So that saves a few seconds of having to kill all the tadpoles. And looks like he's going for the slashes method of the one cycle. Also good. We saw Glubbers do that with a kind of different method that involved a sword combo, but that works too. And now we finally have the double claw shots. Anyways, Dean will now proceed immediately to fight Morpheal. He has everything he needs to do that.
Basically, the entire first hour and 15 minutes of the game has come to fruition at this point, because that's why the princess is such that you basically fight Morpheal so that Aru spawns, so he can send you to Arbiter's Grounds, so you can get to the mirror.
That's kind of like if there was a point where you split the run in half, it's Morpheal. It's very different before and after. Anyways. That's where Dean's going right now. Now, normally you're meant to, Morpheal's arena is entirely underwater. You're normally meant to fight her using the Zora armor. Instead, Dean is going to use water bombs, which are kind of like the Zora armor. But first we have to avoid doing the other half of Lakebed Temple with this cool clip into the bridge.
Yep. You just breathe with explosives.
Yeah. I'll explain more about that when we get there. It's nice that Lakebed Temple is the one dungeon where you can skip the boss keep, because it's very far out of the way.
Oh yeah, that's true, I guess. At least RTA, there's no way to skip any of the
Glitchless. Glitchless spends a long time in Lakebed Temple. There's a lot of it. Any percent sees like 5 rooms. Anyways, Dean going for the cutscene skip that he shouldn't go for because it'll kill him if he gets it. But good first cycle on the eyeball there, using the Master Sword to deal enough damage to the eye to complete the cycle immediately. Anyways, what we saw him take out a water bomb right before the cutscene started. Now, normally you're only supposed to be able to hold water bombs when you're on the ground using the iron boots. But it turns out that if you start pulling out a water bomb and then equip something else over the iron boots before Link finishes pulling out the water bomb, you can swim with it. And that's not incredibly useful on its own, but it does mean that when you drop the water bomb, Link will enter a standing animation for a couple frames, which allows the game to refill Link's air meter, as you just saw there. So that is how we can fight Morpheal without the Zora armor. Dean could one-bomb this.
He's got the RNG for it. Ah, unfortunate.
Yep, and just missed the regrab. Should be able to, keep it going though.
Yeah. If you have the RNG for one bomb, there's no harm in not going for it. But you definitely cut your losses as soon as you miss the first regrab.
Yeah, and we've seen Dean has put on the iron boots before claw shotting onto Morpheal, so we can again equip over them to take the iron boots off and to skip the animation of Morpheal throwing him off. Takes more time than he has on the air meter. And very nice regrab.
Yeah,
so
very clean
2-bomb Morpheal, which is the lowest you can consistently get.
Yeah. And now Glubbers, having finished Linear Twilight, is actually going to take a detour, first getting Ease's bombs and then going up to Snow Peak, since he has the claw shot.
Yeah, this is a fun little routing difference. Glubbers could go right back to Lake Bed after getting bombs. He would have everything he needs at that point, but it's actually just a tiny bit faster to go to Snow Peak first. So we're now an hour and 19 minutes into the race, and we've had our first completed dungeon. Big milestone here. Glubbers forgot that he's running Bite and doesn't have to howl at that howling stone.
He's doing his best, all right? Maybe he just wanted to do a cool jump off that ledge.
It beats doing it the other way.
That's true. Yeah, I think of more of it like SpongeBob, where you put the bomb on your head and then suddenly you can breathe air.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe the Zora armor is made out of water bombs.
Aren't the water bombs supposed to be living creatures in this game?
Yeah, so are the bomblings, which, raises questions about how Barnes does business. My Twilight Princess conspiracy theory is that Barnes does not make any bombs.
What are you talking about? He's in the bomb husbandry business.
Anyways. I believe Glubbers is, stealing the bomb bag again to duplicate it. The way that works is, when you get the bomb bag from Isa, normally what would happen is you talk to her and she gives you bomb arrows. And we don't have the bow, so it doesn't quite work right. But you end up having the bomb arrows equipped, and the whole sequence kind of stores what was in your inventory previously. But the cool thing is if we do it twice, we can store that what was in our inventory previously was the bomb bag from the first time we stole it. And that lets it become permanent. And as Dean now into Midna's desperate hour, he is returning his broken Midna for a refund.
That is certainly a way to say that.
Featuring the second instance of running to Castletown.
So going up to Snow Peak, Glubbers wants to damage down here again, and unfortunately he got a very sad bonks off of collision going down, so he didn't get the 2 hearts of damage.
Yeah, that was strange. We'll see what he does about it.
I think the fastest way to back that up is to walk into the ice block in the Snow Peak cave.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I've run this route like once ever. I don't really know.
I think I've seen him do it in a run, so he definitely knows.
We might see him do it again here.
Yeah.
As we also just saw him do a trick called Map Glitch, which allows him to run through Snow Peak without getting voided out by the blizzard. Map Glitch caused by interrupting a warp sequence by calling Midna on the same frame disables void planes and loading zones, among a few other effects. Obviously, we need to disable void planes to make it through Snow Peak without the Reekfish scent, but we don't like that it also disables loading zones. We need those to get back out of Snow Peak. Thankfully, there is a solution. So I didn't see, did he do UMD Map Glitch? If anybody was going to do it, it would be Glubbers.
I don't know what that is.
Fair enough. You'll learn if you run all dungeons.
Yes, I will.
I don't think he did. But I'm not sure.
Yeah. So luckily there's a howling stone at the top of this mountain that you can howl at and go into the cutscene, and that disables Map Glitch. So you are now able to enter the load zone to go into Snow Peak Cave.
Yep, the Howling Stone is not a normal load. It still works. But if he forgot to howl there, he would just kind of dig into the dig spot there forever and softlock. Yep, looks like he is damaging down from the icebox here.
Yeah.
He needs to game over or save warp to finish the process of duplicating the bomb bag, essentially. Dean did that with the same death warp that set up Empty Lake Hylia, but Glubbers will have to manufacture one up here.
Ah, that's true. I never thought about how ELH dupes the bomb bag, but I guess that makes sense.
It's part of why the route works so well.
Yeah.
Is Dean doing Dean failing the precise jump here to skip climbing a rope.
Yeah.
Glubbers meanwhile jumping into the void and dying.
Yep. So Dean killed the only Bublin that you have to kill in this tower section with the crossbow bow.
Normal MDH tower experience, folks.
Honestly, yeah. Oh.
Oh no.
Yep. This is an MDH tower of all time.
That's also fodder. It's a Bulblin.
Bublin.
Bulblin.
What did I say?
You said Bublin.
Is that Bublin? Bublin? Does it matter?
Well, yeah, because one of them is the right word and one of them isn't.
All right.
Anyways, due to the precise way in which Glubbers did that LJ into the void earlier, he skipped the messenger fight at the top of Snow Peak. Unfortunately, that also skips removing the dense fog over the snowboarding track. Thankfully, he's done this a few times before, and he can basically do it with his eyes closed, which is what he's going to have to do right here.
Didn't think I would get bullied for my accent on this stream.
That's not an accent. You're just saying it wrong.
Who are you to say what my accent is and it isn't? It also makes me stutter. So there. It's part of my culture.
Let's see if Dean gets bridged. Looks good. The collision on that floating bridge is notoriously flaky. We've had a few incidents with it in the tournament already. Glubbers unfortunately crashing the snowboard on the invisible ice wall that isn't loaded properly.
Glubber's showing off a little bit on this this blind snowboarding section.
Nah, he always does that. Glubbers takes some of the most aggressive lines I've seen on snowboarding.
It's fast and it looks cool, and he didn't fail it.
Yep.
I say as he could still possibly fail it, and he didn't. He went straight. Good job, Glubbers.
And looks like he's going for the tech step here, but not quite getting it. Yeah,
So Dean is a half hour behind Glubbers now because he just got the final.
Little interesting thing here is that since he's getting any blow from the wrong wolf, this intro cutscene doesn't work correctly. The hero's shade is not really in the right place. That also means he can start the sequence with the B attack instead of a jump attack, which is ever so slightly faster. Glubbers, meanwhile, starting on Snow Peak, the most broken dungeon, by LJing over Void, clipping up through the ceiling, and then clipping back down through the floor to get to this room, which you're normally not supposed to be able to access for quite some time.
Even though I don't do it, I think that's one of my favorite clips, because you kind of just pop into the floor.
Floor clip is so good. Anyways, he's now doing a frame-perfect trick to interrupt the attack of the freezer at the top of this tower. Or top of this ladder. It's kind of a tower.
It's kind of a tower.
Good second try there.
All ladders.
And second drop off to complete the trick. And now Dean has actually gotten warped back to Farron Woods by that wolf. That's a golden wolf with wrong warp. We'd be warping away from it anyways, so it's not really a big deal, though if you mistakenly get an ending blow during Midna's Desperate Hour when you can't warp, it is quite the time loss. Anyways, it's now Dean's turn to go to Snow Peak. Technically, since he has Midna on his back, he can do a 10-second faster way of climbing Snow Peak, but I doubt we'll see Wolfo's jump today. And Glubbers is attempting to get the bomb strat on Dark Hammer here.
Glubbers again doing his best.
Oh wait, no, he's just this is one of the routes that drops bombs at Snow Peak.
Yeah, he was going for the bomb strat there, but unfortunately he missed.
I mean, sure, you've got to drop bombs anyways.
Yeah. It does gain you a little bit of time back. That Dark Hammer fight's really annoying because you can target his head, which you cannot hit, but you need to target his tail to actually do damage.
Yeah, it's not a fight that shows off, Twilight Princess's simple and intuitive targeting mechanics.
Yep. And the ball and chain also does a full heart of damage when it goes a full 1 mile an hour.
Yep. Hey, you know what they say, this heavy iron ball does deal massive amounts of damage.
I'm sure someone says that.
The item text for the ball and chain says that. Anyways, Glubber's finally ready to go back to Lakebed. This is the little bit of time save he gets from doing Snow Peak first, is that he can use Uku to leave the dungeon instead of, say, warping.
I'm kind of impressed that you were able to pull that off the rip.
What, the ball and chain item text?
Yeah.
I didn't get it quite right, but...
Glover's immediately able to get his Wasserbomben.
You read that text box every time you do a run.
Do I?
Who knows?
I have this habit of looking away from the screen when the text is on. I just listen for the text skip noises, and then I look back at my screen when I hear the diddle.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which, for the people that have reviewed my my sections, know that's probably losing me time.
Anyways, let's see how Glubbers does with the bridge clip. The bridge is kind of on the other side here, so he gets to do it a different way. Slightly different setup. The bridge isn't perfectly symmetrical, and in different routes we do that clip from 3 different bridge orientations. And they're all slightly different. Dean narrowly avoiding getting keysed during messenger skip.
Yeah, that's one section where if you go slow, it can go badly very fast.
I believe Dean may be on a spiritual journey.
He is going on a spiritual journey. Indeed.
And Glubbers is Glubbers has delayed his bomb pull on Morpheal as long as possible. So he may attempt one bomb if he gets a good pattern for it.
Yeah. We were talking about the one bomb earlier. It helps to pull the bomb in phase 1 as late as possible because that timer does carry over into the second phase. And you want as much air as possible, so you want to delay that.
Yep, you want as much air as possible, so you want as much bomb timer as possible.
Yeah.
So you want to delay the bomb. It barely works when it works.
More bomb equals more air.
He could
also getting one bomb
RNG,
maybe. That was close. I don't know if I want to encourage it. Oh, he's going for it. Got the first regrab.
Got the regrab. All right. He needs to get this regrab now.
Ah, this is free. He's got it.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Excellent one bomb
Morpheal from Glubbers there. That's perfect.
Yeah. That saves what, 20 seconds, 30 seconds?
Is it that much? Might be. But
well,
yeah, that's about as
pull the bomb and then swim back up. So I'd say that's about
as fast as Morpheal gets.
Yeah.
So very nice from Glubbers there.
Also, Teabag, thank you for affirming my introspection. Let's see if I do anything about improving my paying attention, using my eyes, as speedrunning tends to lend to.
Who knows? And let's see what Dean does in Snow Peak. I think he also does Ladder Freezer cancel. We'll know in a second. Yep, looks like it. Dean, I don't think... No, maybe you can floor flip like that.
I think he's a little far to the left.
No, I mean on the first drop down.
Oh, gotcha.
You did it in a way that isn't the way I do it. so obviously it must be wrong. Anyways, Glubbers now gets to do Binda's Desperate Hour finally.
Yeah, so coming up here, the routes are about to converge a bit. I think by the times or the places that the runners are in their respective routes, I think Dean may be about 4 minutes ahead of Glubbers.
Is something like that.
Yeah.
That
we'll be able to see for sure
when
they
still
go
flip
both.
over in Arbiter's rounds.
Yeah, we'll be able to see for sure when
for
they
sure.
both go back to Lake Bed to talk to Aru.
But yeah, I agree. I think Dean is a few minutes ahead at this point. Dean also going for the bomb on Dark Hammer. Though with Dean's route, it's a bit more of a calculated decision. Those 10 water bombs, or however many it was, need to last him for the rest of the run at this point. I believe that would be his third bomb used. Oh, the giant iron barrel has incredible power. That's what it was. Anyways, Dean is now going to pick up 200 rupees in Snow Peak. There's the first 100.
Oh no, Glubbers didn't pick up the rupees in Snow Peak.
However, is he going to get them? And second 100. Nice,
Sick flip.
nice backflip. Nice column. That's unfortunate.
Just, rubbing off some of the dust on that column before leaving. Maybe he had a booger he had to rub off.
Ew. And so Dean is warped to Lake Hylia around 1:37:30, I think.
Yeah, Glubbers is about 2/3 of the way through Midness Espid Hour, maybe a little less. So,
yep.
Confidence at least 3 minutes ahead of Glubbers.
Again, though, this could still flip over in Arbiter's Grounds.
Yeah. Arbiter's Grounds is one of the linchpins in the run because it's very very movement heavy and also has a couple tricks that you could or could not go for, but depending on what you decide to do. I expect we will
see both of these runners go for both of the AG hard tricks.
Yeah.
But we'll get there when we get there. Dean still has a few minutes before he actually gets to Arbiter's Grounds. We've got a good view of Link climbing the ladder.
Yeah, Dean giving us the POV, seconds. You are the ladder.
POV, you're being climbed for 18 seconds.
I can confirm it now. Link is wearing pants.
I've been wondering this whole time.
It was a debate in Orcris's chat that I was having with myself.
You can also confirm this by doing the low percent North Farron Gate slide, because like part of the angle setup for that involves buffering a roll direction change on like the frame where you can best see Link's behind. It's a very silly visual cue. Anyways, Dean now on his way to show Fire Aru's Memo. He is exchanging Fire's life debt to Aru for a service worth 20 rupees.
Man. Is that note Aru pardoning Fire of 20 rupees?
Well, Aru says like Fire he saved Fire's life once, so Fire like owes him big time.
Hey, if you use your cannon, if you do your job and turn it slightly right, then your life debt is paid.
Yeah, and you know, technically it's also about allowing Link to go to the desert in the first place, but you know, if you want to do it again, it's 20 rupees.
Everybody gets one.
You'd think it would go further. And so hopefully Glubber's not going to have any trouble with the... Glubber's just having trouble with that cool bit of collision there. Yeah. That might put him off the bridge cycle.
I feel like it has something to do with the wind pushing you back, but it feels like that section of the rooftops just has a lot more collision.
Yeah, well, there is a lot of funky collision in that section.
Yeah.
Dean, meanwhile, almost done running through the desert. I think this is the last instance of, you know, Wolf running in a straight line for minutes at a time. That we'll see.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's accurate.
And yeah, so Glubbers is about 3.5 minutes behind, it looks like. No. Wait. Yeah, 3.5 minutes behind. I did the math right, and then I thought I did the math wrong, but I did the math right. Anyways, I assume we'll now see Dean setting up map glitch a second time. This will give him a faster route through Bulblin Camp.
Yep.
He's going to do a setup here to get on the corner of this this wall. LJ out of bounds, and then jump attack under the map to go directly to the third King Bulblin fight.
Yeah, I think you're a bit behind, Morgan. I just refreshed.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, you'll have to tell everybody how his King Baldwin 3 goes.
He didn't die.
Good.
Beast KB.
Beast KB. Yeah, dying with map glitch active is a soft lock, so we have to be very careful during that fight because King Baldwin hits like a freight train.
Yeah.
Interestingly, despite having set map glitch, this exit sequence on the boar is also a rare special load that still works with map glitch active. It's very convenient. And he's now into Arbiter's Grounds. As we alluded to, this is generally considered to be the hardest dungeon in the current any percent route. Both runners will have to do a lot of precise movement in here, as well as two extremely difficult tricks to skip the mini-boss and boss fights, respectively.
Yeah, and another extremely difficult trick to skip one Poe.
Poe 1 skip is not extremely difficult, Fodder.
Oh, it's not for other people?
It's not difficult in the way that Stallard skip is difficult.
That's true. It doesn't require angle buffering and
I mean, you could
sliding.
angle buffer it.
Yeah, I guess you could.
New beginner route tech.
It's true. The official beginner route, I do not believe, does Poe 1 skip, so they could make a tutorial about angle buffering the LJA.
Yeah, definitely. Anyways, Dean about to get to the one required use of the lantern in the game.
I hope you're writing this down, T-Bag.
Thanks for the heads up, baseball.
Yeah, I see Dean watching the Poe cutscene, the Poe door cutscene, and Glubbers just going in to do map glitch.
Yep, about that. I'll refresh just to make sure.
Do you see what I see?
No, I see nothing because the streams are still loading. Looks like Dean just failed one skip, unfortunately.
It didn't angle buffer.
Yeah, so for this track, we're just kind of high synchronizing. Okay, I should actually be back on schedule now. Okay, for this track, we're just trying to get this weird pop-up on this pillar here to jump up onto this ledge, which we're not supposed to be able to get to just yet. This will let us kind of do the rest of the Arbiter's Grounds Poe sequence backwards. But it allows us to skip fighting the first Poe, hence Poe 1 skip. Viewers of Twilight Princess low percent runs will, of course, know it's possible to skip all of the Poes, but it takes long enough that we don't see it in any percent speedruns. Also, shout out to Twilight Princess low B presses for being the one challenge category that doesn't have to do that pickup slide. Anyways, Dean now on his way to Poe 4. Since we're kind of going backwards, we see Poe 4 first. And this, since it's supposed to be the last one you fight, it's kind of its own mini-boss. It's going to split into 4 here and give Dean the whole shell game.
But how do we know which one to attack?
Well, it turns blue.
Cheating.
Dean, unfortunately, getting some bad RNG here. I think he went for the RNG manip to get the pose to spin faster, but
he does get fast Poe on the hit 2.
Yep, good luck to get the Poe right in front of him, so you can kind of guess on the last one.
Sniffer.
Yep, you'll now be getting the Poe scent, which you're supposed to get from Poe 1, but you can get from any of the Poes. Obviously, who knows where all the Poes are, but getting the scent is actually required to use a couple dig spots. Oh, that's unfortunate. Just missed that jump down.
Just jumping Thankfully, right into the hole.
He'll respawn at the upper door, so he doesn't have to do Poe 1 skip again. And almost doing it a second time. Oh, yeah. You know, I guess the routes don't actually totally sync back up until Enter City, because Glover still has to get the rupees.
That's true. Yeah.
That takes like a minute or so, doesn't it?
It's only about 30 seconds. If that.
Yeah, so we'll see which 20 rupees Dean picks up here. I assume it'll be the one from this rated. And Dean now picking up the third small key of the run. Nope, he's not getting that rupee.
Yeah, I think the one from the Redead on Poe 3 is a little harder to avoid, so he's probably opting to go for that one.
Yeah, I know. Let's see how it does with Poe 2 room. This one's kind of fiddly. That should be good. Good spin attack on the bubbles there to keep them out of his way. And let's see how Glover's does with Poe 1 skip. Good. Oh.
Jumped a little far right.
Barely a bad angle there. And I think he's going to drown here.
Getting Moldormed.
Okay.
It did put him up on the pillar, so he won't drown.
I think he got bailed out. You know what? Yeah. I think he got bailed out by the Moldorm.
Yeah. The Moldorm doing a get down, Mr. President on Glubbers.
And
Dean getting Speed Rat.
No, he didn't get as speedy as the rat can be.
He got normal rat.
There's a manip we tried to do there to try to get that rat to hit us out of the, like, turning the pillar animation. Or some of us do anyways.
If you kill that rat instead of trying to get him a nip, the bubble could also hit you a little fast as well.
Yeah, 3 ways to do it. Anyways, Dean now on his way to Poe 3. He's kind of going backwards for this section of the dungeon again. Couple funny little side effects of that. The first is that we are going to open the small key door from the wrong side, which unfortunately still requires a small key. But the other much funnier result is that none of the redeads in the upcoming room are going to notice Dean, because he's kind of coming from the wrong end. So we can just kind of walk up to it and mid charge it, and happens very easily. And yep, there's his 20 rupees. He's now at 300, which is how much he needs to fix the sky cannon after Arbiter's Grounds. And no real trouble on Poe 3 there.
Yep. Yes, Anarakis. All the rats move the same speed, but only one of them is on drugs. That's what we call him, Speed Rat.
Yes, TheGlubbers is running bite.
Oh, it's your tail! Your tail is what's messing up my HDMI cord.
Hi, Fodder's cat.
Walks by my desk and I have an HDMI cord that hangs low enough for her to catch it with her tail. Yeah, Morgan, put away your tail.
It's not my tail. I'm responsible with my tail. I only hit people with it sometimes.
Does it have a spiked ball at the end like the Lizalfos in Skyward Sword?
It hasn't so far, but yeah, that's kind of a good idea.
Skyward Sword mentioned.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Never mind. It's from Skyward Sword. It can't be a good idea.
Yeah. Hello, all the Skyward Sword runners watching Glubbers at GDQ. Oh.
Glub, I think putting the ball and chain away too early there. Anyways,
Just pause
cool
buffering the second hit.
here.
Or item
Yeah,
buffering the
definitely.
second hit.
Very nice. Good break slide. Let's see if it goes for the second one. I think he will. Ooh, unfortunately not quite getting the right inputs for the break slide there, I think. Not that much slower to just transform Wolf and deal with it. And a couple well-placed bombs to take care of the Stalfos in this area.
Missing one, unfortunately.
Why do I say these things?
That was quick thinking by Dean, taking out the ball and chain, which would be a little bit faster than letting a bomb explode.
Oh, and he also needs to save bombs. He did the Dark Hammer bomb strat.
Oh, and also doing a break slide through that section instead of trying to get the claw shot point.
Yeah, that's a little faster.
cool.
Scrambly Glubbers is doing a different route that gets the majority of its rupees after Arbiter's rounds. We'll see when we get there.
Oh, I thought Scrambly asked why he was doing so poorly. I was like, oh, that's a little mean. But no, he's... Yes.
Glubbers is so poor because, you know, we don't need to go there.
He spent all his money on beans.
That's better than whatever I was going to come up with. Anyways, looks like Dean is going for Death Sword skip. Yeah, true, Anarchist. He's poor because he spent all his money on SGDQ.
Yeah. Known bean vendor. SGDQ.
And unfortunately, Dean's just barely missing the super jump for Death Sword skip.
He's also skipping a death warp by not dying.
I'm not going to try to speculate on how he's failing Death Sword skip. I don't do this trick.
It's pretty frame specific, yeah, but I also don't do this trick.
Yeah, it's a very tight window for the super jump, which is why we see him buffering with the item wheel here.
Because of how far you have to go, it's pretty specific.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's a very long super jump. It barely works.
Yeah. Glubbers could gain some ground
a couple
here.
Times, depending on Death Sword's flight path, he can kind of get stuck in the corner as well. So we've seen Dean do a little roll setup a couple times to kind of reset it.
Unfortunate.
Nice one with the map pull there to try to buffer one frame. Like some of the other Zelda games, you can't. You can only pause buffer like 2 frames at the minimum. But I think there's some way to kind of recover it with the map. Looks like Dean is going to fight Death Sword normally.
Yeah. Going for the ball and chain strat that I also don't know how it works.
I don't do that. I'm not a fan of Death Sword ball and chain strat.
I think it is you do 1 slash and then do a specific ball and chain pull, but I think there is also a version where you do 4 slashes and then the ball and chain pull that has a little bit easier of a window.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, here's Glubbers doing the... There was Glubbers trying to do that cool jump off the spinner track there.
That's what you get for mentioning his name.
I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry, Fire. I have to talk about what the runners are doing. That's how commentary works.
Do you?
I mean, I can talk about other things, but I might not get invited back next time.
We can start talking about World of Warcraft again.
I'm not sure what that was. I don't think anybody should talk about World of Warcraft.
Yeah, fair. As a reformed World of Warcraft player, I agree.
Dean finally getting the spinner. So he's still got a bit of a lead over Glubbers, so definitely if Glubbers does a faster Death Sword, it'll close the gap a fair bit.
Yeah,
Glubbers choosing to use the more conventional claw shot for getting across this part of the room. 100% and IL categories can also do a neat little Helm Splitter bomb boost off one of the Salfos to avoid that whole sequence, so it's kind of fiddly. Anyways, let's see how Glubbers takes on Death Sword. Looks like he'll also be going for Death Sword skip, so hopefully it's a little nicer to him. It's pretty hard to be super consistent with this trick. It's very precise. And yeah, unfortunately, kind of the same thing here. Dean, meanwhile, spinning in circles. And looks like Glubbers has decided to cut his losses after one attempt. So still picking up a bit of time over Dean here, but not as much as he theoretically could have with the first try Death Sword skip. Dean still certainly in the lead. Anyways, now we'll see how Dean takes on Stallard. I suspect we'll also see him attempt Stallard skip.
The cat has been provided a burrito.
Excellent.
So I believe I heard you say that Glubbers got Death Sword skip second try?
No, he made one attempt on Death Sword and then fought him normally.
Ah, okay.
Anyways, Dean doing a buffered angle setup here to start the trick. And he's going to do some more tweaks to the angle, get a precise position here. And then do another setup for his vertical angle. That was the right frame. Good.
I'm glad you know what the right frame is. I don't know what I'm looking at.
And he was now going to use a trick called Claw Shot Actor Displacement to pull Joseph the Stout Rope into the corner. And now he's going to try to do a frame perfect Claw Shot L slide with him to clip into the wall here. It's fairly normal to take a few attempts on this one. It's pretty picky about your position, and the actual input is frame perfect. Glubbers trudging through the sand on his way to Stallard. There we go. So now the last part of the trick that Dean has to do is use another claw shot off Joseph and a bomb to do a bomb boost to get out of bounds. This one has a 3-frame window for shooting the claw shot.
And he gets
looks
it.
Like he gets it.
Very nice.
And from there, he can just roll on through to the load zone to exit Stallard's room, which is always present. Yeah, definitely not the fastest you can do a Stallard skip, but very respectable for a race there.
Yeah, as much as he had to retry entering the wall with that claw shot, it's still faster than fighting Stallard normally.
Yeah, absolutely. It's faster than fighting Stallard normally. It's faster than basically any other way of failing Stallard skip. Which is the important part.
Glover's trying to go for Stallard skip. I was going for the backup.
Yep, he got hit by the spinner there, which knocked his angle off, but there's a kind of backup setup you can do when that happens. Dean, meanwhile, making quick work of the beer chamber messenger fight. And he's on his way to the largest sequence break in the run coming up. Glover's, meanwhile, not quite getting the claw shot actor's placement on Joseph there, and it looks like he is going to fight Stallard.
That's wise.
So it seems like he's just limited himself to one attempt on the Arbiter's Grounds boss skips, which I think is very reasonable for a race context. You don't want to get hung up on that.
Yeah, both of those skips are very hard, and at least Stellar skip takes a lot of time to retry as well, so you kind of have
to... And specifically in a race context, what you really don't want to do is, spend 5 minutes failing Stallard skip and then go into City in the Sky, which is not an easy dungeon. Extremely angry about it.
Yeah.
Anyways, it looks like good skeleton pinball from Glover's there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Dean has clipped through the owl statue in the Kakariko Sanctuary basement and can proceed to City in the Sky. That clip has saved him from having to complete Snow Peak Ruins, complete Temple of Time, and do the Skybook quest.
Yep, the biggest sequence break in the run. It's done by transforming into Wolf, which you're able to do there normally, I think.
Yep. Anyways, he now has to give Fire his 300 rupees because, again, this is not the French language.
Yeah, why didn't Aru use his life debt for this one?
Yeah, it really makes you wonder, right?
Getting 20 rupees is a lot faster than getting 300 rupees.
Anyways, we'll now see Glover's doing a manipulation to get a fast knockdown on Stallard, I assume. Yep, looks good. And he should be able to one-cycle it with a very long chain of quick spins. Looks good.
Man chicken.
Man chicken. Anyways, that was about a 206. Yeah, 206 Inner City for Dean. Actually, what was his AG split time? I just wasn't paying attention.
Hard to tell.
Yeah, who knows?
Sub 3, unfortunately, out of the question for both of the runners at this point, but a low 3x or 30x is still possible for Dean.
Yep. I think for Glover's as well if he plays a good end game.
Yeah, definitely. Glover's, though, is going to lose a little bit more time to Dean as he only has 100 rupees, but fortunately,
that's true.
Since he did fight King Bublin, there is a switch inside of the bell above the Kakariko. Is it the City Hall? I forget what the name of that building is.
Sanctuary. The
Sanctuary. That you can hit with a boomerang and one of the water bombs, and you can get a silver rupee out of it.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool trick. I've seen Fodder do it a few times.
Yeah, it feels very satisfying to get.
But Dean, of course, did not fight King Goblin, so he can't do this. He has to get the Snow Peak rupees. And what we'll see him do is make a couple fairly precise boomerang targets here. Normally you're supposed to do this with bomb arrows and Midna jumping up to the top of the sanctuary. Glubbers can do neither of those things. So instead, he's going to get the boomerang to do it for him. With the right sequence of targeting, you can... And unfortunately, it looks like he didn't actually get the rupee to come down.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. The boomerang angles are very specific there. Oh, it looks like he's going for another setup.
Yep, he should be able to back this up.
Yeah,
because the rupee's up there somewhere.
Oh, he hit the switch, but the rupee didn't come down. It looks like. I did not have his audio up, so I didn't hear the ding.
I mean, he hit the. I don't either, but he hit it with the bomb. I assume that means it worked. There it is.
There we go.
So he's now got his 300 rupees.
Yeah, losing a little bit of extra time, but better than oh, he's got some extra bombs. I was gonna say better than wasting another bomb, but I'm not sure if that's true.
Yep. Dean now getting the first small key in city. It is technically possible to skip this one.
Yes, as in a IL strat, as people call it.
Well, not even. The IL one needs jump strike.
Oh, that's true.
The no jump strike version is, as far as we know, TAS only.
I commend anybody that tries to do it. That's not TAS.
People have tried. Anyways, just saw him do a neat little jump on that railing going back in. That skips a cutscene that both takes a long time and also resets his save warp position to the start of the dungeon. Since he skipped that, when he save warps after double claw shots, he'll actually go back to the small key chest, which is closer to where he wants to go. And I've never seen that Baba Serpent go all the way over there before.
He was going on a grand adventure.
Yeah, a spiritual journey.
One could say. Yeah. So now the routes really converge, and it looks like Glubbers is going to be about 5 minutes and 20 seconds behind Dean.
Yep, looks like it. That's pretty hard to overcome at this point in the run.
Yeah. There is still quite a bit of game left, however.
Yep, never say never. I believe we've had people lose that much time.
We still have piles of time lost.
Before. Palace of Practice.
Palace of Practice. Yep. Shout out to
Palace
Andy.
of Practice, Temple of Time Loss.
Unfortunately, through the soul before entering outside.
That was, yeah, that's rough. Dean with the cool claw shot strat to get those Dynalphos to jump off the ledge. And Dean wisely pausing for a second before jumping off here to not miss the fan cycle. And we'll see him take a slightly different route through this room than the game intends. Normally you're supposed to pull another one of those switches and start another fan, but with a precise jump off this ledge here, he should be able to skip that. And
Very
he does.
nice. And he got a two-hand grab, which is just a little faster as well.
We'll see if he goes for the skydive.
Lovingly called Kermit jump. Doesn't look like he's going for it.
Looks like he's playing it safe.
Unfortunate.
That's strange. Why did he take damage there? I guess because he still had iron boots on.
Yeah.
Either way, he's now on his way to Aralphos. And he gets the 1 frame to put on the iron boots during that cutscene. And unfortunately, he tries to go for the 1 frame switch drop, but doesn't get it. And now we'll see him doing a position setup here. And then another angle setup for a precise claw shot to skip this mini boss fight because once again, gates don't exist.
Gates don't exist. Claw shot.
Shout out to Awabi for the setup.
Yes, that is a very nice setup. This trick is very frustrating without an angle buffer.
Yep, up until recently, we were just free aiming for that trick, which is it's not impossible, but it's not very fun.
Yeah, if you're a Wii runner, you have to do it.
Yeah, unfortunately. And he's dealing with the cool chest parkour to get out of this room. Meanwhile, on your other screen, we'll see Glubbers do that cutscene skip I mentioned earlier, far after it happened. And unfortunately not getting quite the right angle here. He's going for a backup using this P hat.
Very that was nice. Fast. That was a fast backup.
That's clean. He got a good win cycle for going for the backup.
It's fortunate.
Dean now on his way to get the boss key. Kind of getting hassled by the controls there.
Yeah. So he's able to do this. Normally, that fan that you see him looking at,
I completely
he's spinning
that
at the beginning. But for some reason, if you transform to Wolf and open the door without pressing yourself completely against it, the fan just doesn't turn on for some reason.
It's just because the trigger is like way smaller than it should be.
But why wouldn't it just trigger on opening the door? Never mind.
Why isn't it just on at the start of the dungeon? Who knows? Anyways, Dean with a precise claw shot clip to get up to the boss key without having to go outside.
Shout out to Power Gamer Kai.
I had been saying that, but I believe they've changed their username since.
Yes.
Anyways, Dean now doing some more claw
Muffin
shot
Cup.
here. Yes, shout out to Anna Muffin Cup.
Yeah.
And this very fun double LJ to skip turning on another fan inside. And unfortunately bonking on the door.
It's a good thing there's not a big fan in this room. Oh, wait.
Oh, no. Father, I hate to break this to you.
Hope I'm not eating cereal right now.
You know what? You're right. You're right. There isn't just a big fan in this room.
It's a big fan emporium, I might say.
It's a veritable tower of fans.
Glubber's trying to LJ up to the Ukus and being unsuccessful, so he pulled out his claw shot.
Anyways, this will be a long section of precise claw shot aiming for Dean here. Hopefully you can get through it without too many extra fan cycles. Very nice.
Very clean.
And little detail there, but Dean getting the kind of precise vertical angle on that claw shot target to avoid Link turning around as he drops down, which is slightly faster. There's a couple visual cues you can use to set that up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Glubber's on his way to Ralphos.
Side note, are we supposed to believe that the Ukus created the city in the sky? Or were they created by something else? That way.
And Dean, unfortunately, getting the dead pixel. Oh, that's unfortunate.
That's unfortunate, yeah.
Yeah, if with the double claw shots, for whatever reason, if you claw shot to the very edge of a vine, you'll like hang off it, and you can't climb the vine further. Yeah. That looks good second time.
Rob has been shot. And I guess Rob is the name of that those vines there.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're good.
Yeah.
Anyways, now this is the real reason I don't have one of those things on my tail. People always keep trying to claw shot it.
That's true. What is the practical use of that thing on its tail?
Because I have no idea.
It's kind of shaped like a lamp cover, like it's meant.
If anybody knows why Argrok's suit of armor there has a claw shot target on it,
yeah, still makes more sense than the exhaust vent on the Death Star. That's all I'm saying.
Anyways, Dean getting the nice quick cycle on phase 1 there. Normally, you're supposed to wait for Argrok to kind of fly around again, but claw shotting up to the pillar quickly is. Let's just avoid that. And as his reward for doing the quick cycle, he gets to watch a cutscene.
Yeah, the bum bum cutscene.
Yeah.
Bum bum. And the bum bum's coming out of the ground. I do think Argrok's battle music is my favorite.
I think Morphill's battle music is my favorite. Alright, Glubbers is going for the weird setup for Kai Clip that only Glubbers does. And unfortunately not quite getting it.
Is Jenkins on the way? It looks like one
I don't think Jenkins can be in the way. I don't think that's a thing. I think you can claw shot through him. Anyways, looks like... see quite what happened with that flame cancel from Dean there. That looks like it worked eventually, at least. Yeah, Fodder, it's the same music on Argrok and Murphy.
No, it has to be different.
I refuse to regret to inform you.
It just hits different when it's Argrok. Maybe it gets further along in the theme. Zero bomb Argrok. I think everybody who has run any percent has gotten a zero bomb Argrok. I'm not sure.
No, if you miss a clip, it could happen. Anyways, we just saw Dean do a flame cancel. He's manipulating Argrok's attack patterns to just stop it from shooting flame as early as possible. We'll have to do something slightly different for this third cycle, but it's the same principle.
Yeah. Jaquaid apparently throwing a bomb at Argrok to assert dominance.
Look, sometimes you get bored.
That's true.
It's a long fight.
It is a long fight.
And at least for Dean, it's finally over.
After they are the same.
I told you.
But like, it's so much cooler during Argrok, you know?
That's just because Argrok is cool, being a dragon.
Yeah. I think he's a wyvern, actually.
I think wyverns are a type of dragon.
Are lizards a kind of snake?
No. But both snakes and lizards are a kind of reptile.
That's true.
Argorok probably also a kind of reptile.
I thought dragons were descendants of birds, or vice versa.
Well, I mean, evolutionarily speaking, reptiles and birds are pretty closely related.
Yeah. They both have bones.
Yeah.
And breathe air. They're both green.
Biology. Glubbers also getting rob shot dead pixel.
Is that a game over?
That is
no, it wasn't.
It will be if it happens again.
I thought he only had one heart.
Okay, and it didn't get the dead pixel, but is unfortunately fairly low on vines. And then Dean claw shotting up into the cannon to leave city with the iron boots on, so we can get a drop down onto the bridge here. Looks good. Didn't even get the sword clank.
Now he's going to be entering Palace of Torment. I mean, Twilight.
Meanwhile, Glubber's looking at Argrok's giant pillar. And coming fairly close to getting Cool Game. If you claw shot onto Argrok's tail within, I think, the first 2 possible frames, actually, it's a soft lock. It's very funny looking, but also fairly slow.
Yeah, I think you need to safe warp out of that.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know if... No, I think you would be able to save warp. I don't know. I haven't done it. I've never done it. I've never done it and tried to continue the run.
I never would want to do it.
But yeah, Dean now on into Palace. This is kind of an interesting dungeon because it's almost completely glitchless. Yeah, good beach grade. I mean, sure, if you have to reload the save, you know, you're still doing fan tower and all that other stuff again. Nice double hit on the Zant head from Dean there.
Yeah, a lot of cool movement coming up from Dean, hopefully.
And then I'm sure Dean did a spell, but Glover's jumping into the void there to start the second phase of the Argrok fight just a little bit faster. Again, just skips him flying around a bit more.
Dean getting another small key. I'm sure that's the last one he'll get in this dungeon. Yeah. There's not a whole lot to talk about during Palace. It's like Morgan said, it's basically glitchless. There are a couple things you can do faster. One of them is on the Phantom Zant fight. It is actually possible to do too much damage. So Dean is going to be doing a specific set of slashes and quick spins to make sure that he gets Phantom Zant in a part where he's vulnerable. Unfortunately, he got a poke and then had to wait for another cycle. So I think he's going to have to do 4 cycles on this one.
Yep, looks like it. Still,
yeah.
You know, didn't get Baba's, didn't get him warping around the room.
Yeah. It is very annoying. Yeah, if you do too much damage, he just starts warping around the room for about 15 seconds.
It feels like forever.
It does.
Anyways, Dean throwing the soul there to try to overlap the cutscene of the stairs appearing with this pan thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, he missed the soul
did not
platform.
get the throw.
Of the soul slot. Is that what they call it? Socket? Yes, the soul socket. Getting pranked by the Squeebles.
Yeah, that's silly. We've got a wow from Dean in chat. I assume we're about to see.
Dean.
I assume we're about to see a Palace of Practice situation.
Don't fall down. Oh no, I have a feeling. Oh no, he didn't get hit by the Squeebles. Oh, Dean is just baiting us, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not clear what the wow is about.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop anticipating whatever it could be because there are many ways this can go bad.
Clearly, he's talking about World of Warcraft.
Yeah. Hey, callback. Yeah, foreshadowing. Palace of Twilight is the best time to talk about World of Warcraft because there's nothing else to talk about.
I mean, there's interesting tech in Palace.
Yeah, Dean's gonna do a little hop here to make a more direct line to the soul socket. I'm a genius. Predicted.
Dean has had a several minute lead for a while now. I don't think they were ever in Salard at the same time.
Huh. They were in Arbiter's Grounds at the same time, but no.
Yeah, but Arbiter's Grounds takes 15 minutes.
Yeah. It is the second... no, it is the longest dungeon in the run.
Now, Palace is the longest dungeon in the run.
Oh, no, you're right. For some reason, I thought Lightsword and Ender's Ant are different dungeons.
I mean, they might as well be with how darn long they are. Anyways, looks like Dean's having a good time in the stupid room. Not very stupid today.
Do we count that outside of Hyrule as a part of the Hyrule dungeon? I guess it does.
Yeah, Hyrule is
the title card.
Hyrule is entering the dungeon to Ganondorf is dead.
Yeah.
That's what the IL is.
Now, you can't just use these fancy words like ILs.
Dean doing a rang throw there to get the Shadow Beast to come to him faster. Looks like it worked well. And targeting the Keese there, that's probably not what he wanted to have happen.
He's going to get a heart out of it, though. Oh, no. The heart despawned.
And getting the claw shot up before this cutscene starts. Very nice.
No heart for you. It's okay, Dean. You have enough heart for all of us. Doing a precise claw shot to skip jumping back down into the fog and turning back into Wolf Link.
Or I think the intended route is just claw shotting back to the ceiling again.
Ah, that's true.
I did that for a while, and then I realized it was stupid. Anyways, let's see how it does on the second Phantom Zant fight. I learned recently this one's apparently slightly easier, like the Zant spawns are more forgiving.
Sure. I definitely seem to have less trouble with this one.
Yeah, well, there might be a reason.
Imagine.
You'll find during these fights, many runners use audio cues for Xant's position when he spawns off screen. Even runners who don't usually run with game audio will often turn it back on for that section. Dean apparently not one of them.
Yeah. Dean is not a headphone user. I've seen one of our runners.
Headphone-o.
I've seen one of our runners with webcam on go into the Phantom Xant fight and get really close to their monitor because they don't listen to game sound when they run.
Oh, there we go. Let's see how Dean does with run straight room.
What do you do in this room, Morgan?
I'm not really sure.
Oh, you run straight.
Probably why they call it that. Does get the rollout before the cutscene. And very nice claw shot aim there. That's
a nice L slide.
And almost some trouble for Dean in backward stupid room, but looks good.
Yeah, you're able to get the one cycle on those platforms if you jump very specifically onto the second one, but it is a little scary.
Yep. As you just saw.
Glubbers successfully getting the first soul outside.
Dean getting a one frame to drop the soul there to avoid having to carry it over to the platform. And getting the jump attack into the void as the cutscene starts. Very nice.
Both runners.
That one doesn't do anything. People just think it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, Dean has a 256, and I believe Glubbers has a 258. I may be wrong. But unfortunately, yeah, sub 3 hours out of the question in this race, but Dean is still on a pretty good pace to get sub 310.
Yeah. Anyways, let's see how it does in Ball's room.
Oh, Glubbers, unfortunately, targeting the Xant head, trying to get a fast kill on him and falling down into the mist.
And that's why they call it Stupid Room, because stuff like that happens. And I think Dean's second ball throw here was slightly left. Yeah. It's going to be frustrating to recover from because of all the enemies. Looks good, though. Now, except for the analog glitch. Glubbers finally done with Stupid Room.
So there are a few
LJ
small.
Yep.
Yeah. There are a small bit of time saves you can do with LJAs where you can kind of target two spots on the wall and get the LJA to go just momentarily out of bounds. Or get the boomerang to go very slightly out of bounds. Maybe I shouldn't be talking.
Yeah, I don't think you want the LJA to go out of bounds. You'd void out.
Well, you do if you're on bite in one specific spot.
True.
But nowhere else.
We'll see him do another one here, I assume.
Very nice.
So he's just 3 rooms away from Xant now, but they're big rooms. In this outside area, we've got the boss key and 6 more Zant heads spread out all over the place.
No hearts for Dean. Oh, but a rupee. He's rich.
He's getting the rupee.
Oh, he missed the rupee. No. He has not been blessed.
I think he got caught on the railing. Yeah, there's lots of money in Palace, but there's not always a lot of hearts. Then he's voiding out on purpose here to skip having to ride the platform back across. And I assume next he'll be going up to the boss key.
Oh, yeah. So Dean was trying to get hearts specifically in this room because there's a jump attack you can do off of the boss key platform that's pretty fast, and it can also hit the Zant heads below, but I think he might still be able to go for it.
Yeah, it deals 1 heart of damage. Yeah, we take 2 hearts of intentional damage in this room, which is fun because Palace is the way that it is.
Yeah, Palace likes to damage you.
But yeah, it'll be nice for Dean if he gets a heart from one of these last Zant heads.
And is rewarded for a heart for his excellent maneuvering at low health. Jeez.
Yep. He'll be feeling a lot better about this next room now. However, this room's still pretty tricky. There's a platform cycle at the end of it that he'll be trying to get. So, and it looks like he's not going for the mid-no-call strategy. He is going for the cool LJA. Very nice. Oh, no.
But he got transformed.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So he is going for the mid-no-call strategy.
Oh, no, he's not. That only works if you do it before the Shadow Beast spawn. Yeah, that LJ is risky. Fortunately, missing the claw shot as well. We'll see if he still makes the platform cycle.
Just some light vandalism to pass the time.
And it makes sense. He's in pot. Looks like he should be able to just get this with a B attack. There we go.
Very nice.
Very nice. That platform goes back and forth very slowly, so it's very important to get the cycle in this room. Looks good. And he can now pick up Palace of Twilight's 7th and final small key. The most of any dungeon, and we can't skip any of them. Glubbers got the throw on the 1 frame after exiting East Wing, so slightly easier claw shot there. And now Dean just has to spawn camp a bunch of Shadow Beasts. Looks like he's opting to do this room with auto spins. I say as he switches to charge spins.
It's like he knows where they're going to spawn or something.
Yeah, crazy. And he's at full health going into Zant, which is nice.
I think Dean just enjoys vandalism. Embracing his inner link.
Hey, sometimes you can get 20 rupees from that pot. Which he certainly needs.
Those pots deserved it.
Oh, wow. Alright, that's something.
Glubber's having some very specific movement so that he could get to the top of the platform as soon as the balls went into the socket.
Yeah, it took so long for the ball to get in the socket. That's goofy looking. Also, you saw him being very careful not to get analog glitch and fall off the stairs, which is a thing that can happen there.
Yeah.
As Dean demonstrated a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Dean also fighting Zant.
Yep, let's see if he gets the Dangoro phase 1 cycle. Looks good.
Yeah.
That's nice. A 2-frame window for the last hit on Zant there to skip a second cycle. And now we've got the Morphil phase. Obviously, like the actual Morphil fight, you'll have to use water bombs to refill the air meter a couple times. Shouldn't be any trouble.
Dean checking his nose for boogers.
And unfortunately getting slightly too close to the Zant head and getting kind of knocked around, but should be fine.
I feel like he did that on purpose, because he went right into Zant's nose.
It's possible. There is some opportunity for screwing around in this phase. And now the Ook phase. Zant's jumping pattern here is predictable, so we can just go to the right pillar. And then use ball and chain to knock him off the center one. Looks good.
And now for the only required use of ball and chain in the run.
Unfortunate Zant head cycle from DeGlubbers there. And Dean, unfortunately, I think going early with the ball and chain there.
Yeah, I think he bonked off of Zant's knee or something.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, we can kind of cheese this phase because Zant can only get so close to the edge of the room. So you just go over there and he can't actually stomp on you. And let's see how he does on the final phase. For all of these, but especially this one, he needs to hit Zant with the fourth part of a combo to do any damage, but in this phase, specifically, he can't hit him with the first 3 parts. If he does, Zant will just kind of teleport away again. But that's a very clean final phase.
Yeah, very good fight.
That can go off the rails if you don't do it exactly like that. So he's now 1 Hyrule Castle away from the end of the run. Let's see if DeGlubbers makes the platform cycle here. Oh no.
He was having trouble hitting the Zant heads. Yeah. Looks like he very easily made that cycle.
Yeah, that's good movement to spend a couple seconds standing around and still get the platform cycle. So, on the whole, pretty well done. Thanks, Dean.
Love talking about TP.
Yep, Twilight Princess, the only game we have discussed today.
And none others.
Anyways, Dean now has something very important he needs to do before entering Hyrule Castle. He has to skip the postman.
He's on the run from the Hyrule Postal Service.
Very nice.
Yeah, I like listening. Go ahead.
There's no reason in any percent to get any mail, so we just don't.
They're very dedicated to their cause. That's right.
The Postal Service is dedicated, but even they cannot stop the awesome power of boomerang long jump attacks.
Yeah. And he bonked on the load zone. His run is valid.
Though interestingly, while you can't do boomerang LJs on the Wii version, on Wii 1.0, the Hyrule Postal Service is not as dedicated to their job as on the other version of the game, so you can actually still skip the postman.
Yeah, I like listening to commentary whenever my run is restreamed, especially if I know the restreamers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gives a bit of levity to a run whenever.
It's so much better to do a speedrun when I know Prince is making fun of me to 130 viewers.
Yeah. I'll never forget one of the first runs I did in the community. I was right at the end of the run and I was on PB pace. And Prince
let's
goes.
see if Club gets the Dangara phase 1 cycle. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, I could roast the runners, but it seems kind of rude.
I try my best not to, because on the flip side, if you don't know the runners, or you don't know them well enough, if you start roasting them, then that can contribute to their bad headspace, and I don't want to be blamed for mistakes or whatnot. I always want to make somebody's experience better.
Prince has been vaguely talking about doing some speedrunning event, and if I'm on the couch for that, I am going to pull out all the stops. Anyways, Dean has finally finished looking at Midna's cool hat, so can proceed on into Hyrule Castle. Actually, interesting new development for Twilight Princess tool-assisted speedruns. We have a way to skip that cutscene. Though it is very much not RTA viable.
Yeah. Only to skip the cutscene, not to skip the barrier entirely, unfortunately.
Yep. But the cutscene is 2 minutes long, so it still means something. Anyways, Bomb makes quick work of that group of enemies there.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't skip fixing the cannon, even in a task. We still have to watch him fix the cannon with his hammer and scaffolding.
Yeah. That's one of the gripes I have with this game, is they seem very fast and loose with their rules about whether or not you can skip a cutscene.
Yeah, it's silly. Anyways, here's King Boblin 4, the 4th time Dean is fighting King Boblin. Beast KB.
Beast KB. He doesn't do his little dance on this one, though.
True. But he will give Dean a small key, which is a useful item.
That he pulled out of his butt, I guess.
I think he's got a belt pouch or something.
Does he? He does have a loincloth. Yeah. See if Dean gets the flip. Unfortunate.
Dean has a shiny golden music note next to his name because we were listening to Dean's game audio. Yeah, there was one frame for a backflip there that would skip Midna being astonished that King Boblin has decided to speak.
He spoke.
Anyways, Dean, we'll do one more barrier skip here. We saw him roll out of the second barrier by just skipping the cutscene fast enough. Same thing here with the jump attack.
Yeah, successfully skipping that barrier, and also notably, the lights are all off in this room, which significantly reduces lag.
Yep. Some parts of Hyrule Castle are very laggy, and this room becomes one of them if you clear the barrier.
Yeah.
Much to the chagrin of 100% plus runners. But not glitchless, because that's allowed in glitchless for some reason. Alright, Dean should be able to make quick work of this Dark Nut with the ball and chain. That's good.
Very nice.
The timing on that ball and chain pull is actually fairly precise.
Yeah, you also have to
Glubbers
be
unfortunately talking to the mailman.
Yeah, Glubbers cannot escape the Hyrule Postal Service. I like to imagine that the scream from the postman paralyzes Link in the same way that the Redeads do, so he can't move.
I mean, that's clearly the case.
Hey!
Doot 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 doot. Doot 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 doot.
Good job, Dean, on not forgetting the lantern puzzle.
And so we'll use this last bomb to defeat these Dynalphos.
Yeah. He just kind of yeets the bomb, and then they look at it for a second, contemplating its existence, and then they die.
Can kind of. They would jump away from it after a second, but if you time the bomb pull correctly, you can, not give them any time to react.
I've seen them look at that bomb for a significant amount of time.
Anyways, you'll use a similar spinner strategy on this. Oh no, he got that thing.
Yeah, I think it was a slight hesitation because of his item mishap.
Yeah, but then he got the weird shot.
Ah, I see.
And missed the last BNC throw. That's unfortunate. Still, though, pretty good.
Dean not spinning to the monkey.
I'm not sure if that was the frame perfect weird shot thing, or if their alphas were just out of range.
Yeah, maybe a weird position.
Not sure. Still, in the grand scheme of things, it only took a few seconds to recover.
Yeah, Dean, just bonk against the door going into the final tower climb, and you'll feel less bad about the segment. Oh no, Link, look out!
And at this point, we were introduced to Ethan, the exploding hawk.
Is that his name?
I don't know.
It's Ethan Hawke, like the actor.
Every time I get to this cutscene, I think that, somebody at Nintendo decided that during this pivotal and dramatic cutscene where we're reintroduced to all the friends we made on our journey to save Hyrule, some of whom we've seen before, you're watching this, and then you get the sound of all 4 Dynalphos dying at once. And somebody at Nintendo decided that was okay.
Yeah, somebody at Nintendo also thought it was okay to give Aru a rocket launcher.
I think that's fine. I think Aru should be allowed to have a rocket launcher.
It is admittedly very badass.
Anyways, let's see how he does with the final tower climb section here.
Yeah. Dodging the invisible
floor of this
normal
room
wrath.
falls away, and you're supposed to take a safe path through it, but you can also take a dangerous path just by rolling fast enough, which he's done. And a little trouble with these Alphos here, but gets it done. And Glover's having a little trouble with KB4. Looks like Dean attempting to go for the whip, and he gets
Very
it.
Nice.
Very nice.
That's the first time I've seen that. Well played.
And I'm not sure if it's the first time I've seen somebody hit it in Wolfdash, but there have been more attempts than successes.
Yeah.
And
Well,
a
now you're
precise
definitely
thought
gonna
shot
roll.
to get past that last dark nut.
It was on this cutscene that Dean is skipping that Prince was on commentary and saw me not skipping it and said, "Does Father know he can skip this cutscene?" I was like, "Fuck." Excuse my language.
Well, you did not.
I did not.
Anyways,
still
Dean has
struggle with that.
equipped the iron boots here, which he'll be using for an important trick right at the end of the run.
Notably equipping it before going into the Zelda fight. Did he try? I think he tried going
Dean,
for the
don't do
crash.
that.
Dean,
Don't do that, Dean.
come on, Dean.
You know better.
You know better. No crash.
I mean, yes, clearly, no crash. Dean is now being punished for his hubris with bad RNG.
Yeah. So there is one frame going into that fight that if you pull the item wheel on the same frame that it presents the Puppet Ganon boss title, your game crashes because
Puppet
reasons.
Ganon.
Yes, that's what I said. We all know it's Ganon. They say it's Zelda, but it's Ganon.
Anyways, I think that's what Dean's third Zelda cycle.
His 13th cycle?
Yeah, definitely. This is not very good RNG for Dean here.
Yeah, Dean looking at
Glover's-
the Among Us in the clouds.
Glover's reading about the Doppelhaken. It's important to know your items.
Ah, yes. Doppelhaken, my beloved.
This
Now
is
it's
some
Lampe.
cool Zelda RNG for Dean.
Yeah. Globbers could catch up here.
Dean could have a 87 cycle Zelda. It's possible.
Yeah, could go for the record.
But he doesn't.
Yeah.
How many cycles? I'm not sure. I think it was at least 9.
Yeah. I wasn't counting.
And nice ball and chain throw there from the side hop.
It's a Breath of the Wild Easter egg.
You're going to have to explain that one.
No, Beast Ganon.
No, I guess.
That's the whole joke. It's not good, but that's the joke.
Anyways, you can see Dean is not just looking at the corner here to look good, here to look cool. It also reduces lag. Oh, was that really? That was a slow 8.
Yeah. Oh, he probably got Doritos every time. Yeah. Or maybe one
there
dive.
were a lot of Doritos. Looks like a clean beast cannon, though.
Morgan!
I've done it again.
You gotta stop saying things. You missed it again.
Dean, you're supposed to grab him. You're supposed to press A to grab Ganondorf.
You're also supposed to be facing Ganondorf when he charges you.
Yeah. There we go.
Three Doritos and 2 swords. Thank you, Ari Beth.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
Could be better.
It's an average Zelda experience, honestly. So it was an 8 cycle then.
Yeah, it was an 8 cycle. I just thought it was 9 because it was that slow.
Right.
Anyways, let's see how he does with horseback. That's right, it's Epona again. Did you know that Link has a horse?
Link has a horse?
Yeah, on gorge routes like Dean is running, we see Epona twice in the entire run.
Yeah, I guess you do see Epona an extra time in Bite Route.
Yep, once at the very start and once at the very end. And Dean is not having a good time.
Dean needs to be careful. He could die again in here.
I'm pretty sure if Dean dies in horseback cannon, he would be immediately disqualified from the race.
Yeah, he would die in real life.
Looks like he's recovering it, though. Oh my gosh. The absolute scam. Oh no, he did get the hit. I thought that quick spin didn't connect for some reason.
Would you like to hear about Ganon's desire?
Not really, but I think we're going to anyways.
I don't think we have a choice.
Ganondorf is that annoying guy at the party who just won't shut up about his new idea for a website.
I think he's the guy that brings a claymore to a party, and its entire personality is that sword.
Also possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jaquade, he's going to take the light and he's going to put it into the sword.
It's gonna blot out the light. No, it's made of twilight.
Let's see if Dean can auto spin. Looks like no. Oh goodness.
Come on, just hit him. Hit him. This is definitely a Dark Lord experience. Just wait for him to kick.
Oh no. Yeah, Dean's going.
He's giving him the business right now.
Oh my gosh. There we go.
There you go. Iron Boots Lantern.
And Iron Boots Lantern. Let's go. GG Dean.
GG Dean. I can't see his splits. 304.36.
Yeah, pretty good. Welcome in, Dean.
Hello.
Sorry, you said more shit talking, and then there was nothing really you did bad at the end of the run besides Ganon.
I got some digs in on the horseback.
I don't know what happened there. It just kind of fell apart.
Sometimes you just forget how to do it. It's happened to me a few times.
Yeah, Ari Beth,
card
just watch the cutscene in about 5 seconds, and you'll see what the Iron Boots and the Lantern do.
Oh yeah, I'll continue the
advance the dialogue.
Dean, I'm so sorry about the card clip. That was my fault.
The commentator's curse.
Dude, that was one of the better segments I've ever had there, and then all of a sudden I got card clip first time, voided out, and I'm like, okay, and then I couldn't get it the next time. So
that void can be infuriating.
Well, I have never gotten it in all the runs, and then all of a sudden in the last 2 weeks of doing runs, I've gotten it like 4 times. So it's like, all right, I'm doing it at least consistently, but
yeah,
absolutely.
Like we were saying, it's one of those tricks that seem easy until you fail it, and then it's the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah, it was like
you can just get in that loop of, you screw it up and you go back and you screw it up the same way, and it just never ends.
Yeah,
it's one of those tricks that like I just forget how to do, and then I'll go practice it, and I'm like, there's nothing going on here, and then I'll do a run and I'll fail it again. I'm like, what?
Yeah, but sans the first 40 minutes of the run. Well, you did get Gorge Void first try, and you also got Rupee Roll first try.
It would be impressive if you got Gorge Void second try.
There is, I mean, I could have done the human variant, but when I was like realizing I was pretty far ahead of Glubbers, I was like, well, I can take and afford the time loss, and then I got Wolf, so I was like, well, here we go.
Yep.
But I cannot believe in all the runs I have ever done, I have never taken a minute just to get through the gate. I think that was like, what, 10, 12?
Oh my god,
like,
the start of
bonk
this race was so weird.
And what
This
happened to
wasn't-
Glubbers? Did he miss bite?
He missed bite.
Yeah. He missed safety bit.
It's
He
really
missed
funny
safety
that
bit.
it's really funny that you guys like got the lantern within a few seconds of each other.
That honestly,
After all that,
as annoyed as I was with the gate, I was pleasantly okay with seeing that we were about in the same spot at that point. I'm like, It was literally just a minute to bonking on that gate. I probably had like at least 12 attempts.
Yeah.
it's the most trouble I've seen anyone have with it.
You know,
You're
misery
bound to
loves
usually-
company.
You're bound to get it within like 4, 5, 6 tries tops if it's like 50%. So like, I don't know if it's just incredibly unlucky or what.
I think there's some sort of like timing component to it that you could have been getting into.
Somebody said there was like frame cycles for it to work.
Yeah,
I don't remember what the decomp was.
I've heard like 3 different conflicting explanations of how that works, so beats me.
Well, I mean, so other than plus 3 minutes to enter Fair on Twilight, basically, then it was another 3 minutes to card clip, and then like 3 minutes to AG, basically. And if you just
Yeah, I saw you had some trouble with Death Sword Skip.
Yeah, I don't know. They all felt relatively fine, and none of them were. So I was just like, well, I'll go for the fight. And then when I pulled out the ball and chain, it like missed a few, and then he just went back into his like phase. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's frustrating. Good Stallard Skip at least, even if you had trouble with the L slide.
If anything to have trouble with, it's the outside. Like, I mean,
yeah, that's what I said at the time.
The
like,
cat and the bomb boost, you can't screw those up, but if you screw up the outside for like 10, 20, 30 seconds, I mean, you'll get there eventually.
It's faster than having to try the trick again.
Well, even a slow second attempt is still faster than a fast first fight attempt.
I don't know, Glubbers is still doing horseback.
He's having some troll issues from Gandorf here too, it looks like.
He's getting seriously trolled.
So, Dean, it looks like your next matchup is going to be against Anarakis, who was watching this match, so probably scouting you out a little bit. How do you feel about that matchup?
If I just like hold together consistency and don't have these like, because like it was either plus single digits or plus 3 minutes to my golds. It was like really tight or really bad. So
Yeah.
If you just like, I don't know. I think that Anarakis and I could put on a really good show in terms of like consistency.
Yeah, I think
and
that's
stuff.
gonna be a fun race.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
in terms of like PB play style, consistency, and everything like that, I think like it's gonna be. I was actually really looking forward to this match because I know that Glubbers and I are very consistently about the same in terms of PB, but I think that just him being at SGDQ with a unfamiliar setup might have caused like some stuff with this run for him.
Yeah,
I'm sure
he's
got
also
a lot going
been
on.
Yeah, he's been having some lifetime losses too. So it's I wouldn't put that as an asterisk on the run or anything. You guys both had trouble with the early game and seemed to pull it together through the mid game. So I wouldn't take that away from you at all.
Speaking of which, GG Glubbers.
Yeah,
Big G.
GG Glubbers, getting a 310 despite everything.
I used these runs as sort of mental fortitude testing. It's like you can't control the RNG, but you can only do what you can do. So it's like just
no resets are great.
That's a great way to look at it.
And it's like a whirlwind of emotions because like during the beginning of the game I was like kind of pissy, and then I eventually got like really good segments on Master Sword and Boomerang. I'm, all right, I'm doing good, and then I got Gorge, I'm like, all right, let's go, and then I failed Karg, and I'm like, oh. Went to rage mode again. It's like,
Yeah.
Happens.
Suppose Glubbers is not coming in for an interview.
Yeah, Glubbers is at Games Done Quick right now, so I supposedly or probably will not be joining for commentary. But GG to both runners. Glubbers unfortunately out of the tournament with this loss, but Dean moving on to the next round against Anarakis, which hopefully will be sometime next week.
More than likely, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get my practice on.
Yeah, the winners bracket has been pretty on
start.
it, if not scheduling matches within a day of the last one. A day or two, so
I gotta start warming back up again. I haven't played in like a week and a half now.
Yeah. All right, Ricky, take us out.
Okie dokies. I want to thank our runners, Dean Machine and Glubbers, for the awesome race. Thank you to our commentators, Morgan and Fodder Cannon. Did a fantastic job. Coming up tomorrow, 6 a.m. Eastern Time, we have another Twilight Princess tournament match. A main bracket, winners bracket round 2 between B Wildebeest and Iwabi74. We have commentators, and we just confirmed a restreamer for that, so that will be getting put on. I can verb.
Oh, excellent.
And
I
also,
probably won't be awake for that one, but I think that'll be a fun race to watch.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely if you can, look out for that one.
And then in the evening at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, another Twilight Princess tournament match between Doopsy and ZachLink99, which I believe has comms, and we need to confirm a restream for that one as well. But yes, lots of Twilight Princess tomorrow. And that's going to do it for us. Hope you find something you want to watch. And thank you everyone so much for watching. Hope you had a wonderful time and have a fantastic rest of your night. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Night, everyone. Thank you again, Ricky.